I don't even know what the fuck I just watched. Tarkowski went in on Maka like he owed him money, nearly snapped his leg in half, and somehow the ref just stood there with his thumb up his ass. If that was me, I'd be doing a fucking prison sentence. But no, because it's Everton, apparently attempted murder is just strong defending. Absolute disgrace. And can we talk about the fact that for once, I didn't have to be the one saving everyone's ass. I was starting to think this team had a Salah-only rule for scoring. I've been carrying this lot like a fucking backpack, so it's about time someone else stepped up. Jota finally remembered where the net is. Halifucking felt like I was watching a miracle. But yeah, another win, another 3 points, and Everton can go back to fighting relegation like they were born to do. Oh, and to the referees, maybe next time try officiating with your eyes open instead of pulling red cards out of your fucking ass whenever it suits you.
Harder! Get kicked, snakes get slithery. Lean in, show y'all the meaning of chivalry. Rap ruler, you can ask Buddha. Right jab like Sam Judah. Every member on my team is a shooter. Tight like a room, no room for intruder.
Yes, guys. Bit foggy there, the old glasses. Drift. You all right, man?
Yeah, good, bro. When I saw both of those clips for the first time, I was laughing my ass off, bro.
Salah's just saying facts.
Get away with it, but yeah.
Just saying facts, ain't it? Just saying facts, Salah. I see no lies. Big up to everyone in the house. Hope you're all doing good. Appreciate you all being here. Thank you very much. Cal will be along soon. Unfortunately, Matt can't make it tonight, but Cal will be along soon. And yeah, we're going to get stuck into this. Loads to talk about tonight. But don't forget, hit that like before we start. Already 132 in the house. At least have 100 likes straight away. Appreciate it. And don't forget to share and subscribe as well. But Drifty, how you doing, man?
Not too bad. I want this news to be more official so I can be happier about it. I feel like I'm right on the edge of not wanting to get too happy because I don't want the disappointment if we find out it's not. So, like, I feel like I'm in a bit of a weird place at the moment when it comes to Liverpool.
I think Paul said that earlier as well, which I understand.
Yeah, you just don't want to go too early. Like, there's a strong part of me that believes it's all real, but I just don't want to go too early.
No, I hear you. I hear you. That's how I always think when I get on top. You know what I mean? Go hold it in. Think of your grandmother or something like that. You know what I mean? But no, that's how it's starting, guys. That's how it's starting. Yeah, let's get straight into the obviously the biggest news of the last few days is these contract situations. So I think Paul Joyce was the first to break it, and then I think Ornstein followed, Fabrizio followed, James Pearce followed, Sky Sports have done countless shows about it even today. Paul Merson spoke about it. So I know what you're saying, Drift. You know, we're just waiting for the day next week or whatever it's going to be when they, you know, officially sign. But I do. It does look like seems like it's definitely happening. The news coming out yesterday was basically they don't think there's too much a bump in wages, and today we find out that. So apparently, I didn't know if you knew this, Drift. So Mo Salah was on 350 a week, 350 grand a week basic, and he had a £50,000 a week bonus as well, which made his contract 40 grand a week. Apparently, what they're going to do is take away the bonus and just give him the 400 grand a week basic with no bonus, and with a 2-year extension. That's the news on Salah. What's your thoughts on that, man?
So were the bonuses based around goals and assists, I'm guessing?
Yeah, and all the other bonuses he gets are from other sponsors and stuff like that that's around him and his likeness and stuff like that. But from the club, it was a basic 50,000 on top of 350.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, he's lucky isn't the right word, but FSG don't normally do stuff like that. So I don't know if I'm putting it right when I say he's lucky FSG have done this. But you get what I mean. Like, this is I'm surprised. FSG, I would have thought at this age, they would have wanted a player to have incentives so they felt more like they were earning the money. If they're going to let him get to 32, 33 years old and then let him have them have that extra money without even having to earn it. I'm quite surprised. I'm happy, but I'm surprised. Our ownership definitely don't like to spend money, so I'm surprised.
Is this where we're now looking at people like John W. Henry and all that are more or less hands-on there in the football club, and they are leaving it to people like Michael Edwards, Billy Hogan and Richard Hughes to run the football club? Because they all brought them back for a reason, didn't they? So do you think they're just leaving the club now in their hands? They know what the finances are. They know how to use the finances. We know from previous years, FSG really trusts Michael Edwards. He knows how to use the finances of the football club. Do you think they've just left it in their hands now and how they see the football club going forward? And they're sort of like just silent owners who just own the football club?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know how hands-on they've ever been, bro. I just think they just give really tight budgets and then expect Liverpool to just run. Like that's kind of what it's always felt like. It's always kind of felt like the owners just go, look, this is the budget, make it work. Which is why, like, when you said like they trust Edwards, so they brought him back. There's a little part of me that thinks, could it also be cowardly to always go back and not look for something new?
We've all been there.
Wait, like, let's be honest. Like, let's put it in simple layman's terms. If you break up with someone and then you try and get with somebody else and then that doesn't work, so you just go back to your ex, there's a reason you left your ex, right? It wasn't working. So is it almost cowardly to not go back out into the world and try again? No, you fail once, you're going straight back to what you know, comfort.
What if
why did you try again? And maybe the next one might have worked. So, like, is that what it is? Like, just going back to the comfort of Edwards instead of trying something new? And it's like, well, clearly something went wrong in the first place. That's why he left. I know a lot of people will say he fell out with Klopp. I think that makes it look even worse. If you leave just because you want to throw your toys out the pram, I think that's worse.
I agree. It all depends. If she went to the Mayfair and got double D's, then you might go back. You know what I mean? But that's the only reason. But is it the fact that they find it very hard to employ anybody under what they do and the way they work? Is it the fact they find it very hard and difficult to employ the right person? Because remember when we were looking for sporting directors, we couldn't employ any sporting director. Why couldn't we employ sporting directors? Is it because they can't work under, it's very hard to find someone, to work under the restrictions that FSG give them. And Michael Edwards is probably the best guy that can work under FSG's restrictions. And they've just gave him carte blanche now. He's not sporting director. He literally, I believe he don't even work for Liverpool. He works for FSG, don't he? He worked for them. He's not employed by the football club. He was the one in charge of bringing in the sporting director and stuff like that. So, and we're hearing now he's quite hands-on in the transfer stuff. Apparently, him, Richard Hughes, and what's the other guy's name? Julian Ward. They're all working together really now. So, do you think that just might be the fact that they couldn't find anyone, and they know Mike Edwards is good at his job? He knows what they do, and they've just given him carte blanche now.
Yeah, I mean, and it also looks bad on us as well a little bit, bro, because as good of a job as Edwards did before, and as good of a job as it looks like Hughes did while he was at Bournemouth before he came here, because look how good their team is now. Like, bro, that's not our level. And like, I don't like to watch face, but sometimes you have to. I look at Man United. All right, they fired him for whatever the reason may be. Probably more because they don't know what they're doing more than anything. But look at what's his name that they took from Newcastle, which was a proven top level Premier League director of football, and Man United went down that road.
And they sacked him, didn't they?
Yeah, I know. I think that's probably more incompetence on their end, and he just took the fall. But like, whatever the reasons may
Ashworth,
be, Ashworth, that's it. Yeah, Ashworth, top guy in the game. Everyone knows how good he is. Look at Arsenal now, going over and taking the director from Atletico, who's a very, very good, well-proven director of football. They've took a little while to make the decision, but they've gone and done that. They brought in somebody good. Look what Chelsea did. They went to Brighton, who've got the best operators in the game, and took them, and it hasn't quite worked. But I get the logic behind why they did that. Whereas Liverpool go and get Bournemouth. I mean, you know, like you like again. I'm not trying to be like elitist or whatever, but like, come on, man. We should have gone and got somebody who's been to the very top, like Edwards. Like, we needed to go and get the new version of an Edwards who's been to the very top, won all the best things. He was part of the reason why that happened. So now we can have that faith of like, you can come and do this at Liverpool because we've seen it. Proven record, just like what Arsenal have done. The guy that Arsenal brought in, proven track record, building league title winning, Champions League final reaching teams. Yes, you know what you're doing. Let's bring you in. Like, I hate the fact that Liverpool have brought in Edwards, and then Edwards is just going to got his friend from Bournemouth. Do you know what I mean? Like, it could go on to be something, but he's been in the job for a year and he's done fuck all, bro. He's been in the job for a year and he's done fuck all. So far, there's a huge question mark over Hughes, bro. A massive question mark over Hughes.
I hear you. Like, the thing with Edwards, though, like, Edwards came from Tottenham, yeah, and he worked as sporting director. His only job as a sporting director has been at Liverpool. And him and Jurgen Klopp work extremely well together, like we know. Now, I think your manager and sporting director, if they can work in sync, it's a match made in heaven in today's football, in my opinion. You get the best. You get the players they feel like can work under that manager. The manager gets them, works there, does their stuff on the player, and you become a better football team because of it. So if you can do that and find that match, then it could be great. I mean, the thing with Richard Hughes, that's why I've always gave him the benefit of the doubt till this summer, because they work a year ahead. So he came into the football club with a new manager. He hired, I think Ornstein has said that it's all Richard Hughes that hired, because he's a sporting director. It should be his job. He hired, obviously, Arne Slot. If he hired Arne Slot and he somehow given Virgil and Salah new contracts without much bump or bonuses, and they've added 2 more years onto their thing, and he's managed to do that, and we go on to win the Premier League title this season, he's going to have to take some flowers, I suppose, because them accomplishments are under his watch. But then in the summer, he's got to then show it again. I mean, I know the only real player we were going for this summer was Zubimendi. It didn't work out for whatever reasons. I don't know if we'll ever know the truth, because Zubimendi don't look like he ever wants to leave Spain, to be fair. And then we never publicly went for anyone else. Why? I don't know. I don't know if that was all down to the sporting director, to be perfectly honest. We're going to see what he's made of this summer. I think this summer, with him a year in the job now, so he's got his portfolio. He's seen what the club want. He's seen what the players need. He knows the data now, the scouting, the manager. I think this summer is when we have to give him just maybe the benefit of the doubt, and just whatever he does this summer with the new people he signed up the contracts. If he has a good summer, signs the people up that need to be signed up, got the right manager, then we can start to kick on and relax a little bit and go, all right, this guy might know what he's on about. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I hear you.
That I feel for everyone who came in this year, because it's so difficult to go to a new manager who you don't really know. He doesn't know the players yet, or he knows the players obviously from afar, but he doesn't know how they are in training, what they look like in training, how they play, and that. And then you've got to give them, I suppose, that year. So it's a difficult one on Richard Hughes, but I can understand why people are upset with Richard Hughes still at the same time, because the question will be, Drift, is if these contracts, by the look of it, were contracts where the wage bump is hardly anything, it's only a 2-year extension, why is it taking all the way to April to get it done?
Exactly.
That's got to be the question here. Till we find out when you know, next week, I think next week we'll probably get official terms of them signing the paperwork, and they'll do a press release, because I don't think they want to do two separate press releases. They probably want to do a press release together with Virgil and Mo, and not two separate ones. So they're probably waiting for them both.
Oh, I don't know, you know. I don't know, bro. When you think about it, they might enjoy doing one at a time.
Well, it costs, don't it? That's the thing. It's the cost, ain't it? You know what we're like as a club.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the cost, ain't it? Because then you got.
I mean, if I'm being honest with you, though, I think both players are so legendary. I think they kind of deserve it to be a separate one, if that makes sense. Doing it at the same time is fine. Like I don't have an issue with it, but I guess maybe they deserve to have one at a time. Maybe do them 1 week apart. Maybe they might do them at the same time, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, same time, sitting at a table. I mean, it just sort of makes sense to me that Mo and Salah, breaking news, Mo and Salah finally signed. Press release coming up this afternoon. They're both at that table at AXA, in front of the board, pen in the hand. You know how they do. You know, photo, question. You know, Richard Hughes can then gloat and said, "Yeah, I got it done." You know, all this stuff. I can see that being the case, because, you know, I think it'll be next week. But when that happens, and we find out the details, obviously there's going to be a signing on fee. Actually, I don't think there will be a signing on fee because it is an extension. Do you get a signing on fee for an extension, Drift? Do you know?
I don't know.
Or do you only get a signing on fee when you've literally got no contract?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure.
Because their contracts are still in. Yeah, is it? They do. Ballers thinks they do. I'm not sure. I don't know the whole ins and outs.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that, to be honest. A contract extension isn't a new contract, so yeah, I have no idea.
It's just an extension, ain't it? Maybe they get, you know, something new in their contract. You know, something a little bit different. But if it is just a 2-year deal and a little tiny bump with two players that have never said they want to leave, Drift. These two have never said they want to leave. They've never said they want new challenges. These are the two of the best players in the world in their position. And that's what I love about, you know, what makes me happy about all this, because as Liverpool fans, we're like, we got Salah and Virgil while begging to stay at our football club. Don't know about you, Drift. That makes me quite happy as a Liverpool fan that they want to stay here. Telling me Virgil could go Real Madrid for 2 years if he wanted to. If he phoned up Real Madrid, he phoned up Real Madrid tomorrow and went, you know what, I'm not signing with Liverpool, and I want you, Real Madrid, you're my club, can we do a deal? Is there anything there? You know, Real Madrid are going to take him for 2 years, but he wants to stay at the club. And I think that's the stuff that's getting us annoyed, ain't it, as fans? Like, got two players here, world-class status, that are just saying, don't want to go. Just give us the deal. And it's now April and it looks like it's been done. It's just a whole season, Drift, of us worrying. And it's like we worry. It's like we're going worried all this season for nothing. Makes us grow for no reason. It's mad.
Yeah, just unnecessary stress, man. It's a weird one as well, isn't it? Because you look at the situation with Virgil and Salah compared to Trent. If we're just going off of what we know, and what we know so far is that Trent is leaving and the other two are staying, right? And you think to yourself, maybe because they're a bit older, a bit more mature, maybe it is because they're at the end of their careers, not in the middle of their careers. I don't know what it is. But to me, I look at the character of the men. I look at what they're saying. I look at the things that are happening. And to me, I think they appreciate a lot more what's happening at Liverpool than Trent does. And I think that might come a little bit from the spoiltness of it. Because what I think happens is, as a player, as a human being even, I think you appreciate it, but when it happens too young, when it happens to you so young, this is just life as well, bro. I don't know if you lot agree with me on this. Put any of the older heads in the chat as well. It's the reason why people don't respect as much a silver spoon kid, right? In comparison to someone who works really hard and makes it to the top. Because that player who made it all the way to the top understands exactly what happened, went through the trenches, had the bad things happen to them, overcame adversity, etc., right? So they appreciate it more when they get there, and they probably have a little bit more about them as a person. Their personality probably has a little bit more to it. because they've character built along the way. Whereas normally the silver spoon kid is like a bit spoiled, thinks everything should go their way, throws their toys out the pram. And I'm stereotyping here, but you get what I mean, because generally this is the rule. This is the rule when you normally meet people who grow up in money to people who don't. So let's just use that as a kind of structure to put into place now for the analogy, which Trent is the silver spoon kid because he was at Liverpool from 8 years old, which is an absolute dream for most people for a start, worked his way up, playing for his boyhood club, dream club, went through the academy, was introduced into the first team at a quite young age, 17, very young age to be introduced into the first team. And then he's just gone on from there. So not taking away anything from his talent, I'm just talking about the scenario. Whereas you look at Virgil and Mo, bro, they've had to go from club to club to club, restart again, club. You know what I mean? Like Salah came to Chelsea, didn't work, had to go back a stage, reworked his career, worked his way back up. Virgil just constantly kept improving his levels every time, but never. Then Liverpool was that right. I've earned the right up until this point. Here's my big move. So they've character built. They've done all of that. They've been around the world. They understand. So now they're probably way more appreciative of what it is to be a club legend because they've been at loads of different clubs. They haven't been a legend at any of those clubs, even though they've been good players for those clubs. And now at Liverpool, they're like, I'm at the pinnacle. I'm here. This is it. I don't need to go anywhere. Liverpool is what you think about when you're a young kid, like reaching that level. I've reached that level, and now I have a great appreciation of what a real legend is. I am going to leave this club as a legend. This is where I will be. This is where I'll be the Robbie Fowler. This is where I'll be the John Barnes. This is where I'll be the Jamie Redknapp. This is where I'll be the Jamie Carragher. Like, when you see me, you think Liverpool. And let's be honest, bro, that is the case. Maybe not so much Redknapp because he did finish his career at Tottenham, but I think Liverpool when I see Redknapp. I just know he played for other. But
well, he says he's a Liverpool fan as well, don't he now? So.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But when I look at Carragher, when I look at Fowler, when I look at these players, I think Liverpool. When I look at Mane, I think Liverpool. These men are etched in the legacy of Liverpool, right? Legends. Whereas Trent, being here his whole time, he's the little sport kid who's like, now I want to go do something else. And he's not appreciating what exactly it is because he's so used to it. He's been here since he was 8 and everything was handed to him at a young age in regards to like some players never win big trophies ever. And by the age of 21, I think he'd won them all. 2022 when we won the league, 21, 22 when we won the league. He won everything by the time he was 21, 22. I deep down don't think he truly appreciates the scenario as much as somebody who's grinded and done all the stuff I said with the others. So maybe that's why he wants to go. And maybe that's why the other two look at it more like, I want to be a Liverpool legend. Don't know about you, but this is it. I'm at the pinnacle. I don't want to go nowhere else. I've made it. I'm here. I want to be a part of these records. I want to be a part of this legacy. I want a statue outside like, you know, some of the greats. That's what I want. And maybe Trent's more just like, yeah, it's all right. I've been here all my life, though. Let me go and do something else.
No, you know what I mean? I hear you. And it's how Trent's coming off. You know, look, yes, he's younger than Virgil and Mo, and a lot of people throw that out there because he's 26. He wants to experience new things. I hear it. I get it. Yeah, right. But when you got and if he's on about ambition, like Trent's on about ambition, that's what people are saying at the moment. Without Trent actually saying that's the thing, a lot of people believe it's ambition. Well, are we saying that Salah and Virgil don't care about ambition then?
Exactly.
Because they're staying.
Because I can tell you now, they're more ambitious than Trent.
Yeah. So does this ambition thing get knocked down a little bit now they're staying?
Yeah, this makes Trent look really bad, bro.
Because Trent
look really bad.
Paul Merson said this afternoon, I saw a video of him this afternoon, he was basically saying that with Virgil and Mo staying, it's trouble again for everyone next season. Because they're almost unicorn-like players in their positions, especially in the Premier League. You know, don't worry about anything else, just the Premier League right now. You got a forward who scores 20 plus a season every season. You know, he's 32 now, but he's having the season of his life. That he ain't going to drop. Now, what's a Salah drop off, Drew? 15 goals a season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's still great. Do you know what I mean? Virgil's not going to just not know how to defend next season, is he? You know what I mean? Even if he does take a little bit of a dip, he becomes human.
Yeah, exactly. I know you've got to do then is make sure you get someone around him so you can use him where and when you need. Because I'm not gonna lie, bro. That is the key. Even if Virgil stays for me, bro, I still think the player we should sign needs to be a world beater because we need to be able to use Virgil sparingly. Even though he's the most in shape 33-year-old you'll probably ever see in your life. Let's be honest, bro. We can't keep having him play more minutes than anyone every single game because you're gonna run him into the ground a bit if you do that. Do you get what I mean? So we still have to get to a point where we have to actually think. We need to have a player who's already ready to replace Virgil while we've still got Virgil.
Yeah.
And then it even prolongs Virgil's career because in 2 years' time, we can maybe even give another extension to Virgil so he can be around to be more of a motivator to still be the team captain. Do you get what I mean? Because at 36 years old, when his contract runs out, where's he really going to want to go at that point? So I think he should even get another contract extension at the end of that to just be a guy who's in and around like what James Milner did for us.
Make him a player coach, man, if he wants to be.
You know what I mean? We should have done that with Milner, bro.
Exactly. Simmer,
you know
Salah, Simmer says Salah dragging the whole attack to the title is the most ambitious thing ever. It's
you know what I mean? And nobody can tell me Trent is more ambitious than Salah.
No, Salah wants to break every record, man.
I will slap your face if you try and tell me that you think that Trent is more ambitious than Salah. I think Trent's being attracted by the glitz and the glamour as well, bro. It's the Hollywood. He's being drawn in. He wants the glamour of it all, isn't it? If that's what he wants to do, then good luck to him. You saw the way that team's got no structure and they're all over the place.
Yeah, you saw the glamour last night, didn't he? I mean, do you know what I mean? It's just making Trent look a bit bad at the moment, ain't it? If these two do sign on the dotted line.
Yeah.
You know, and you look at the way De Bruyne's left. Look at the way De Bruyne's left Man City. You know, everyone knows De Bruyne's finished. Yeah, he could have stayed at City and just took another bit of money and just stayed there. He's leaving with his hands up, man. He knows it's time to go. Wrote the letter, said, "Look, I love this club. It's time for me to go. You know, I can't do what I used to do anymore."
Yeah, and he knows the levels. Yeah,
got a lot of respect for that. If all this news about Trent coming out is that he's definitely off, we heard news. I don't know if you heard it last night, Drift, that Madrid are now really pushing for the Trent to be done. They're actually trying to make a little transfer fee in there so they can get him on the 1st of June and not the 1st of July.
Yeah.
They're really, really pushing for it. If this is all true and Trent is definitely off, why don't Trent just come out and say it now? What is there a need to hide now? You know, if he's leaving, why don't you just write a letter to the club and the fans? Go, look, say whatever he wants and go, look, I am leaving. My time's come at Liverpool. I'm moving on. And you say you love the club and all that. It will just make people feel a little bit better. He doesn't have to do it. I hear you. People will say he doesn't have to do it, Jamie. Why should he? He's won everything at Liverpool. It's just, I don't think other rival fans understand it, that we're a little bit different. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean, Drift? I think we're just a little bit different as a club. You know, I always say it. I think we're the most emotional club in the Premier League. We do a lot of things by class as well. We're known as a classy football club, and the fans and everything about the football club. And Trent leaving the way he's leaving, it's like he's been invited to his best friend's party, but he's leaving out the back door of his bird.
I think that's what he wants,
what I mean?
bro.
Yeah,
I think that's what he wants, bro. I don't think he wants to face the music. I think he wants to just. Maybe he thinks if he does it that way, then the quieter he does it, the easier it will be. I don't know. I think he's scared of the backlash, bro. There's even a little part of me that thinks that the backlash that he's already seen might even be making him think twice. Yeah, it might even be making him think twice, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
But then is he committed to Liverpool?
No, but maybe the fact that he's injured has worked in his favor because it means we don't have to worry about whether he plays or not. Because if he had to play, that would be very interesting with all what's come out. If he was playing at the moment, that would really make it different.
If these two sign, because I think they'll sign new contracts, and I think their contracts will get signed up next week, because they're probably trying to organise a press day for them and stuff like that. So I reckon next week that's probably when it happens. If he's scheduled to be back by the end of April, and you'd feel like Slot would probably want to play him. What is the reception he receives if he plays again for Liverpool and Virgil and Mo have just signed a new contract?
Well, here's the thing, and I mean no shade when I say this. I'm not trying to be rude. I know people who go to games regularly, so I'm not trying to be rude. But at the same time, this is why people do have a problem with match-going fans, like the regular match-going fans, because they're the ones who don't seem to cause any problems at the ground for the owners. If you speak to like the regular match-going fans, they don't seem to have a problem with FSG for some weird reason. I don't know if there's like this like
But the Scousers are pissed about Trent, though. Scousers are pissed about Trent, though. Have you ever had him with it? Man.
Yeah. No. Of course they're upset that he's leaving. But what I'm saying is the match-going fans, the everyday match-going fans seem to have this like blindfold over them that the rest of us don't, where they just keep accepting things that no one else is willing to accept, and they keep being more forgiving of the issues that the rest of us aren't. I don't know what it is about regular match day going fans. What changes? I don't know what maybe being in and around it all the time. I don't know. It's weird. So I think they won't. I don't think they'll boo him. I don't really think he'll get a bad reception on the day. That's just me. I don't know if people disagree with me or not. I don't think he's going to get a bad reception from the crowd. I think it's going to be online and in real life where he's going to get the bad reception and where people are going to be annoyed and he'll feel it. I don't think he'll feel the burn in the stadium. I can't imagine them booing him. I just can't.
No. Look, and part of me hopes they don't as well, because it's
no, if he's officially going, Jay, the boozer deserves.
Yeah, I suppose.
If he's officially going, the boozer deserves. You're going to play for Real Madrid. It's not just about the fact that you're leaving. It's not just about the fact you're leaving for free. You're going to an enemy as well, a rival. You're going to a club that's caused us so much pain, and now you want to go and be a part of it. It might not be an Everton or a Man United. I hear that, but it ain't far off. Real Madrid. We hate Real Madrid. The rivalry we have with Real Madrid. And you've been a part of the majority of that rivalry.
And he admitted they're main rivals as well.
And now you want to join them?
Yeah,
bro. The boos will be deserved. The boos will be deserved, man. And I find it strange if anybody doesn't feel a way towards him. I get it. Maybe I'm a bad person. Honestly, maybe I am a bad person for wanting the worst for him, for leaving. I don't want his career to be good. I hope he sits on the bench at Real Madrid and he's shit. You think I'm going to sit? I ain't one of those, if you love him, let him go people. Nah, fuck that. Bro, if he goes Madrid, I want him pulling up stinkers and I want him begging his ass to want to come back to Liverpool, even though we shouldn't let him come back.
And what hurts even more, this ain't an average footballer either. Do you know what I mean? This is a world-class footballer. Generational world-class footballer. Is a scouser through for West Derby. Not, he could walk to the old training ground in Melwood from West Derby. You know what I mean? It's his family. Everyone's have read. I think that's why Liverpool fans are angry. And at this moment in time, I've seen Liverpool fans on Twitter today saying Salah and Virgil are more Scouse than Trent. Do you know how mad that is? You know how mad that is that they see him more Scouse than Trent.
And do you know how much that must be burning Trent?
Yeah, it's
Do you think Trent's problem is, all right, let's try and put ourselves in Trent's state of mind just for a second. Do you think it might have something to do more with him regretting not going to Madrid while he's got the opportunity more so than anything? Like, could that be what this is? Because let's be honest, I don't think there's anything worse in the world than regret, right? That's why some people try to live their life without regret. Because regret can... Married. Regret... wifey, I'm not getting involved in that one. But let's be honest, though. Regret is the one thing in the world that I think most people can't live with, right? Like, I think most people in therapy is usually from some form of regret, a bad decision they've made, something they've done wrong, etc. So living in regret is a horrible thing, right? That people don't want to live in. So is there a possibility that that's what Trent's dilemma is? That it isn't even about not wanting to play for Liverpool anymore or not loving Liverpool anymore. He just doesn't want the chapter to close on his football career, and he regrets not going to Madrid.
He's got the
Is that what it is? And again, I couldn't even give a shit if that's what it is, because I'm a Liverpool fan, so I'm still going to flip back into bun you. But I'm trying to be unbiased in this moment and just look at it from the other side, because it's fair, right? Even if I'm still going to have the same feeling I have towards him. Is that what it is? Is he thinking I don't want to regret this?
We got to look. Yeah, as you say, it's a Trent side of things. So he was never leaving Liverpool if he has a contract, because Liverpool would never go accept a bid for him, in my opinion. And the bid would have to be world record for it to be accepted anyway. He looks at himself with a year left. He looked back in the summer, probably looked at it and went, I've got a year left. Dad just left. And I don't, the stepkids are getting on my ass. And I got a chance to play with the Galacticos, Real Madrid, and they want me. They've been in touch. They want me. And I've got a year left of my deal. Is this my chance? I've won everything with my club that I love. Every trophy's done. That'll always be there. No one ever will forget about that. I can't forget about it. I've got the medals to prove it. But now I've got a chance to play for the biggest club in the world. And that's what he's taking, Cal, is that from Trent's point of view, if we're being in Trent's shoes right now, is that how he's looking at it?
Is this off the back of the Paddy Pimblett stuff?
Oh, we're going to get to that in a minute.
All right. So, again, I know not everyone's going to kind of align with my thoughts. In fact, very few people might align with it.
No one. No.
Yeah. I just think, personally, I just think it's a massive overreaction. And I genuinely think that Trent is getting all this heat and the club's getting nothing. Like the
club served 8. Yeah.
But the club's the one that's let his contract run down, not Trent. Like they could have sold Trent in the summer. They could have sold Trent 2 years ago. If the plan was for him to leave 2 years ago, they could have sold him 2 years ago. They could have sold him in the summer, just gone. If he wanted to go Real Madrid, then this notion that he's planned this for 2 years, like, come on, like, where's the proof of that? Like, seriously, how is it everyone's taken what one person said on Twitter and run with it as gospel? Not just that, we've seen the club how they've treated Virgil and Salah. Like, and again, those contracts aren't done yet. Everyone's going crazy. They're not done yet. We've been told from October that Salah and Virgil are close to signing. They still haven't signed. So until they sign, again, plus we don't know what's going to happen in the summer. If we just sign Virgil and Salah to new contracts and we only get 1 or 2 players, is everyone still going to be sitting there going, "Oh, the club's really ambitious"? Like, surely let things play out first. Surely see where things land. But this notion that it's all on Trent, and it's crazy to me. Like, the club have a duty to not let contracts run down. Like, it's simple club again. How Trent's getting all the blame and he's been called a snake and a rat. So what are Liverpool then? If Trent's a snake and a rat, what's Liverpool then?
No, I hear that. The club.
I'm hearing people saying he's no longer a legend. The same people who are saying that Trent's not a legend will be the same people who turn around and say Suarez and Torres are legends. What are we doing there?
Yeah, that's right.
No, that's
everyone's saying it wouldn't have been bad if we got a fee for Trent. Okay. The club wouldn't have sold him in the summer just gone.
He wouldn't
have because we had just lost Klopp and we were going through a complete revamp. He weren't going to sign a new contract because and everyone says, "Oh, what about release clause?" We don't do release clauses. So genuinely, what's he meant to do?
Here's the thing, though, bro. Why people aren't thinking the way you're thinking, in my opinion. One is Salah and Virgil have consistently said that they want to stay at the club. Trent doesn't say anything. It's clearly obvious why, because he doesn't want to be called a liar. He should have publicly, at some point, especially as vice captain, have declared his love for the club or let it be clear he wants to go. The not saying anything leaves everything up to people's own interpretation.
So let's say he comes out and declares his love for the club and then they don't come to an agreement and he moves. Then he gets called a snake. Let's say he comes out early in the season.
He's getting called a snake anyway.
Hold on. Let's say he comes out early in the season and says, "I think I do want to move on." You think everyone's going to be like, "Oh, well, Trent came out and spoke about it. It's calm." That's going to be toxic for the rest of the team.
No, it is, but he only has 2 options. He doesn't say anything because he's going to leave.
Which is going to pee off the rest of the players who are his friends. Let's not Forget that. They're his friends. So him being booed by his own supporters isn't going to go down well with the rest of the team, which could have a knock-on effect on the pitch. All I care about is what happens on the pitch. I don't really care about behind the scenes.
No, but bro, you don't have to say you want to go then. You have two options. You do what he's done. You do what he's done, which isn't say anything, which is letting us know you want to go. Or you come out and you say you want to stay like what Virgil and Mo did. Virgil and Mo, on numerous occasions, especially Mo, have declared their love for the club and that they want to stay, bro. Trent not doing that. He's giving us the answer we know. You want to go. Because as vice captain, as a Scouse, why have you not said anything? How can Virgil and Mo say things that you aren't?
As a vice captain, why was he not offered a new contract when he was given the vice captaincy? Why is Virgil not offered a new contract?
No, but bro, we can't keep on banging it back on the club.
No, we can. No, we can
because three players who were doing the same scenario.
Yes,
so we can use their example.
Bro, the moment he got made vice captain or captain, it should have been new contract on the table. We need to make a statement as a club.
Yeah, of course. No, but maybe it wasn't. He said no. We don't know, bro. Do we?
Bro, so why is it that? Or maybe he wasn't offered anything, bro.
No, of course.
Because if that was the case, Virgil would have signed 2 years ago. I wasn't offered anything either.
No, because they could have offered Trent a contract without offering Virgil one because they're still individual players. It doesn't mean one's got to be offered.
Why would they offer Trent, who's vice captain, a contract, not Virgil, 2 years ago?
Because Trent is younger. Trent is the one who's more
Virgil
of
is the
value.
captain. Of course, they'd offer Virgil a new contract.
No, but I'm not saying whether they did or didn't offer a contract. I'm just saying, look at what we have, the information we have. We have 3 players in the same role. That's why this is a very unique situation, bro, because we've never had 3 players all having the same thing happen at the same time. So we can actually look at the way each one's treating it and we can have a different conclusion on what's going on. And for me, the club are at fault because, of course, the club are the umbrella, right? So, of course, the club's at fault to some degree. But if Virgil and Mo have consistently kept on publicly letting it be known that they want to stay and Trent hasn't said anything, we've got a 2-on-1 scenario here for confirmation of it looks more like Trent's head ain't in the game because the other 2 consistently say they want to stay, bro. So why hasn't Trent come out and said he wants to stay?
Because he
doesn't want to stay, bro.
Oh, because he said from the beginning, I'm not going to speak about my stuff in the public because I've never done that previously. Salah done this previously, by the way.
It's convenient, though.
No, it's not convenient because he did the same last time he signed a new contract. He said he wasn't going to speak about it when he signed the contract the last time. Didn't speak about it. Salah has always been in the media speaking about his contract situation. This isn't the first time. The last time he wanted
because Salah's a superstar.
Regardless of whether he's a superstar or not, he still spoke about it publicly. Trent didn't speak about it publicly last time. He said he wasn't going to speak about it publicly this time.
He was a 22-year-old Scouts kid. It was easy to sign a new deal, bro.
It's very easy to put this all on Trent. I need to see what energy's coming from the club because if it turns out that they offered him a very weak deal or whatever, people are going to still hold the same feelings towards him.
But if the other 2 stay, it still speaks volumes because we've had ambition labeled at the club. So what, Salah and Virgil not ambitious then?
No, well, we'll see in the summer. We'll see what happens in the summer.
No, but bro, if Salah and Virgil stay, then they're not ambitious then, apparently, if Trent's leaving for ambition.
No, you could probably... Again, Trent's coming into his peak years. Salah and Virgil are possibly out of their peak years. So
I think that makes it more important that they make the right decision, bro. Yeah, Trent's got another 2 contracts left in him. This is probably their last contract.
Exactly.
So he's got a bailout. Trent could have 2 bad years somewhere and still resurrect his career.
He's coming to his peak years. He wants to be guaranteed of certain
things. But bro, if you're 26, 27 and you make a bad move, you can still correct that.
I don't know what, bruv. You think everyone's got bare time in football, bruv? 26, 27, you can't be making the wrong move, bro. Look at your players like Naby Keita's and all that. You think they...
No, not the wrong move, but when you're of his level, if you make a mistake, it is correctable. Because your talent, somebody will bail you out always. And it's Trent.
What? And we're easy to negotiate when it comes to selling, yeah?
No, we're not easy to negotiate, but we are the type of club that, you know, if the right offer comes in and you actually want to go, all right, go then.
Is he obliged to say this at Liverpool for the rest of his life then? Is he obliged to do that?
He's not obliged to, but just understand that there is a sense of responsibility that
in what way, genuinely asking, in what way would it have been acceptable for him to leave the club?
There wasn't one. There isn't an acceptable way for a scout.
You just said he's not obliged to stay, but there's not an acceptable way.
Yeah, because that's just the way the game is. That's just the way the game is, bro. It's just the way the game is. It is what it is. He's not obliged to stay because he's not a slave to Liverpool or anything like that. But if you go, understand, you've ruined it. It's just how it goes, bro. Like, you know, same way like a husband isn't obliged to stay with his wife. He's not obliged to stay. But if you leave, even if she's treating you badly, you still broke up the family, bro. You left.
No, let's not, bro. That's a completely different situation, bro.
No,
what are we doing here?
No, but it would technically still be you that broke the family. If you said,
bro.
I'm leaving, and you
hold on. Completely different, bro. Completely different.
Maybe the scenarios are different, but the
completely
situation is easy to understand the similarities.
It's not, bro, because you staying could be breaking up the family. So it's completely different.
How?
Matt's hairline, big up you, super chat. He says Trent and Madrid have been in contact for 2 years. Makes sense. They leave Virgil longer because they had to worry about Madrid being after Trent.
Can anyone prove that he's been in conversation for 2 years with Real Madrid?
Only what we're hearing, only what we're hearing.
No one will ever know that for fact.
So why is everyone running with it as gospel then?
Because there's been a lot of smoke.
No, I think what's killed Trent is, I think what's killed the whole Trent situation is that Real Madrid made a transfer offer for him in January, which means Trent gave the say so. So because of that, I think that's I think that's where it's all coming from. Big up, Darwin Punez. It says top red cow. FSG will be happy with you.
Will not be happy.
You know what, Jamie? That's the
not be happy. Yeah.
The fact that they made. We've had enough people who are in the game who understand what the situation is. That said, there's no way Trent's camp wouldn't have said yes to Real Madrid making that offer in January. So that means Trent and his people knew that bid was coming in.
Again, I can push back and say I speak to a football agent who I can't name, and he's told me there was no way he was leaving in January, and his camp wouldn't have accepted it. So this.
It was PR by Real Madrid, and
this is what I mean. Like everyone hears.
It was PR by both of them. It was PR by both of them.
But the person I speak to has direct contact with Trent's people, by the way.
I mean, Trent's brothers are.
Well, then ask him what's going on, then, bro.
I mean, it's obvious what's going on.
He doesn't know absolutely everything, but there's things that come out. If I ask him what's come out and he says yes or no.
And plus, I'm not going to lie, with all due respect to everyone involved, they're not going to admit that anyway, because it makes Trent.
This is what I mean. You believe
no, but they're not going to, though, bro. They're never going to admit.
Bro, when I come and tell you that there's something else, you're straight away denying it. So it's like
no. I'm not saying what I'm saying is a fact. I'm just saying it's very easy for the camp to deny that, because now that Real Madrid had the bid rejected, they don't want to make Trent look bad. So of course they go, no. Trent didn't have nothing.
It's very easy for Real Madrid and their PR to just lie about it, and for Liverpool fans to lap it up like they have.
Of course, it could go both ways, but I think it's very convenient.
Look at both sides of it.
It's very convenient for Trent to deny something that is commonly known in football as true. A club don't make an approach for a player unless they've spoken to his representatives and know he's down and now he's up for it. No, bro, we know, generally speaking, in football, we know clubs don't make bids for players. We
made a bid for Caicedo without speaking to his people.
That's an outline example.
It's not an outline. It happens all the time, Drift.
That was a fire sale on the last day, bro, and we just tried to get involved.
All the time.
And look what happened. We got rejected. That's why we look stupid, bro.
But didn't Real Madrid get rejected?
No. The player didn't reject them, bro. I'm saying Caicedo rejected us. That's why we look stupid that we didn't know whether we wanted to come.
Let me get this straight. So Liverpool, we could have got a fee for Trent in January.
Yeah.
And Liverpool rejected it and said, no, we'll rather let him go on a free.
Because 20 million isn't good enough to derail a title challenge.
Is 20 million not better than nothing, though?
It is, but it's not enough. We'd rather win the league. If they'd offered us 100 mil in January, Cal, club would have said yes, guarantee you.
So why did they turn down 80 mil for Núñez in January then?
I don't think they were selling anyone in January.
I personally don't believe that. I don't believe the club rejected 80 mil for Núñez. I honestly, I don't believe
that. The Saudi guy who spoke to Piers Morgan said it actually was a bid. So
it said it wasn't a bid.
It said it was a bid, yeah, like they did bid for Dom. Liverpool,
80 million.
Liverpool won't go accept anything in January because they want to win the title. So they want to get over the line.
Maybe they would have rejected 100 mil for Trent then. But I think the situation that's different between Trent and Núñez is they can reject money for Núñez knowing he's under contract and they can still get that money in the summer. Whereas with Trent, he goes for free. So it's easy to reject Nunes money because they'll be like, well, we just get that money in the summer then. Whereas
Well,
Trent, there's no other time to make the money. It's either now or never.
But precisely, so there's more onus to accept the Trent one now. If that's the case, so let
no,
him
but
go
not
now.
20 because 20 mil's nothing. What's 20 mil's not going to help us, is it?
I just, I can see Trent's point of view for wanting to leave. But as I said, I don't mind who leaves our football club. You know, I really don't mind who leaves our football club. It's just ways of leaving. And at the moment, I don't understand the Trent situation. And this is why I got a weird feeling that Trent might do a U-turn.
If he does, I really want to see.
This is why I've got this feeling, because at this moment in time, all the news coming out from Spain, even on Sky today, I don't know if you guys saw Sky today talking about the Trent situation, that apparently Real Madrid now feel like they want to wrap this Trent deal up, get it all sorted. They want to pay a little tiny fee so they can get him on the 1st of June instead of the 1st of July and all that. And still, we've had nothing from Trent or his camp come out and say anything to the intrigue that everything is coming out from Spain is true or it's false or anything. You know, they just stayed very, very quiet, which lets speculation run. And I respect Trent for staying quiet and not talking about it. But what it does let speculation run and run and run. And like everyone doesn't know what to feel and think. You know, so I'm not saying it's down to Trent, obviously, to say anything, but I think we need to find out from one way or another. I think everyone needs to find out if Trent is leaving. With all the noise coming out, he might as well just come out and say he's leaving. You know, if it is all true and everything from Spain has been true for the last 12 months, to be fair, because this has been a 12-month saga now, and it has always been true, Trent might as well just come out and say, look, I am off. You know, the hate is already there. The hate of the hate, you know, the way people are acting is already there. So it's not going to get any worse. It's just going to be the same. You might as well just come out and say I'm off. And the fact that he's not saying that at this moment in time might mean that, you know, he actually stays. He might see that, you know, Virgil and Salah have signed new deals. You know, maybe I'll stay because they've signed new deals. You know, maybe he looks at it and goes, right, if you gave them new deals, maybe I'll stay as well with my boyhood club and we go again. Because the noise coming out of the club is that, you know, apparently Salah and Virgil are very, very happy with Arne Slot. And that was one of the main reasons they go sign new contracts. And I've never seen Trent upset with Arne Slot. They always seem to have a laugh and all that together. So I don't know, guys. What do you reckon?
Is there not an argument to say they could still be negotiating?
Could still be negotiating. They certainly could.
In the same way, we've only now heard something about Virgil and Salah, which again have to take with a pinch of salt because we've heard stuff all season.
We ain't heard nothing like this now. This is totally different.
But is there not an argument to say they could just be still negotiating and nothing's been decided either way?
They could be.
I mean, Trent and his people could still be. My only problem with the Trent situation is that you should not let your brother be your agent.
I don't have a problem with his brother.
I think it depends on the personality.
Well, yeah, and Nelka say he wished his brother was never his agent, didn't he? Paul Pogba's agent's his brother, ain't it?
You've definitely got to be careful because your brother. Yeah. But then, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It depends what your relationship with your brother's like. Because I would trust my brother over most people in the world. Yeah. So it does depend. Like Paul Pogba, unfortunately, his brothers were just bad. But like, I don't have a problem with it being his brother. Look at Bellingham, for example. His mum's his agent, right? Or she's his representative. She's making sure she does the right things for him. So I don't think family doing it is a bad thing. I guess you just got to understand whether you've got the type of family that might, like, I know that my brother wouldn't switch on me for money, but some people might have a brother that loves them, but they still in secret be like, yeah, I know he'd do something snaky for money, though. He loves money. Like, so it depends what type of brother maybe you have. Maybe if Pogba looks back in hindsight, he might think, yeah, my brothers were money hungry, so it was always a thing I should have maybe kept my eye on. Or so you never know. But yeah, I don't have a problem with that. What I do have a problem with, though, is Trent's brother not understanding the scenario a little bit more from a point of view of what could happen for Trent if he's the one who's in his ear making him go or giving him the advice to go, because he's not the one who's going to have to keep walking around Liverpool and feel like he's an outsider, it will be Trent who's got to worry about that. So that would be the only thing I'll be disappointed with from a brother point of view.
No, I hear that. It's going to be interesting next week. I think next week is when we get it all official. As I said,
can I ask a question? What if it came out that they offered Trent? What is he on 180? Right?
Yeah,
180,
they offered him 300.
Rumored they've offered him 300. Let's say they've only offered him 200, and he's gone. Can we do 250? And they say no. Is it still Trent's fault or is it the club's fault?
Well, apparently he's only going to be on 180 at Real Madrid.
Obviously, his signing on fee is going to be mad there, though. He gets in it, so that bumps everything up.
So it would be money he's going for.
Just hypothetical.
So then it would be money he's going for.
No, we can't.
If the wages are the same, then it would make it seem like it was a signing on fee that was the difference.
No, because let's not act like Real Madrid aren't a massive club, bro. Like,
yeah, they are a massive club, but
so it can't just be money. It's not like if
and that's the
sideways move, then I'd be like, yeah, it's the money. But it's Real Madrid. Let's not forget who Real Madrid are. We hate that. Let's not forget who they are.
That's the thing, though. Like, because we're Londoners, yeah, so we're Southern Liverpool fans. You know, we love the club as much as obviously Scousers love Liverpool Football Club. But for Scousers in the city, I think Paddy Plymouth in that interview said it as well. Robbie Fowler said it. A lot of Scousers have said it. Jamie Carragher said it on the overlap. For them, Liverpool are the biggest team in the world. You know, no one else matters. Steven Gerrard, no one else. No, they're the biggest team. Like, Liverpool is the team. They're the biggest team in the world. I think that is why there might be a divide between, you know, Liverpool fans that maybe from the south and from Liverpool, where the difference is felt. It's a different feeling, if that makes sense. That's what I see online as well, and in everyone's community chats as well. And you know, a lot of Scousers in the chat, like in the chat tonight, you know, they will be like, "No, F Trent." You know, like Liverpool are number one in everyone's eyes here. So, you know, and then people like us Southerners, we might be looking at it a little bit differently, saying like, you know, Real Madrid, the number one team in the world, it's hard to turn down. Does that make sense?
I could be being naive with this. I could be naive with this. So if you lot think I'm wrong with this, just tell me. This is just my personal opinion. I don't think there's many people who grow up in England who idolize foreign clubs more than English clubs. So whether it's Man U, Arsenal, Liverpool, whoever it is, you idolize that club and then everything else is secondary to that. Maybe being in the game changes that because Trent's in the game, so that could be the difference. But in my opinion, that's what happens. Maybe it's the propaganda, maybe it's the bias. I don't know what it is. But I don't think any English people grow up and look at Real Madrid and Barcelona the way foreign players do, or the way foreign people in other countries do.
We're from a different generation, brother. That's what it is.
Real Madrid were better in our generation than they are now. So it would be even worse, though.
Would you, when you were 19 years old, go out and buy a Real Madrid or a PSG or Barcelona tracksuit?
No, I wouldn't ever buy that.
All right. But it's a completely different generation.
We are in a different world now, yeah.
No, but our generation used to collect shirts more than others, I reckon. I've got friends who've got Inter Milan shirts and Barcelona shirts and all that stuff. Bro.
Collecting shirts and buying other club stuff and wearing it.
So you think Liverpool fans now will walk around in a PSG tracksuit? No, I've never seen that, bro. I've never seen that.
Bro, like the 19, 20-year-olds of today are not the 19, 20-year-olds.
Are we talking real fans or casual fans? Because casual fans will do that, yeah, but not real fans.
Bro, there's real fans out there buying like tracksuits and merch from other clubs.
Right, I must be completely in the dark to this because I've never seen that. Still, I've never seen that.
Bro, I've seen it. I've seen like my younger brother-in-laws and like cousins, and I'm like, what are you lot doing? They're like, it looks sick, and I'm like, bro, that's not the club you support. Like, I can't get my head around it, but yeah.
I don't know then. Maybe.
There you go, look. Trill says I'm 17 and PSG's clothes. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
We do live in different generations.
It's very different, Drift, bro.
I actually feel quite bad for you lot then, because that's like too much spreading yourself out, man. That's like, I don't know, man.
When I was a kid growing up, especially where we grew up, it's no one really talked about other football apart from Premier League football and your team. You know, yeah, we watched the occasional Italian match because it was on the TV for free when we were kids growing up. And then when the World Cup came around, I think when you're a teenager, the World Cup used to be massive because that's the only time you saw the best players in the world.
Yeah,
you know, and it used to be an event. It was just an event. Now the World Cup's it's another World Cup. Do you know what I mean? It's not got that same prestige as it used to because you sat there and like, geez, I only watched Liverpool week in, week out, and all Premier League teams.
Yeah,
now,
I'm not gonna lie, the PSG stuff might be a little bit of an outlier because it's Jordan stuff. So it's that whole Jordan collection in it. So maybe PSG is a bit different. Like like for example, the guy who just said he's got the PSG tracksuit, bro. Would you buy a Real Madrid tracksuit or a Barcelona?
Hell no,
or a Bayern Munich
tracksuit? My nephew does.
Would you go and buy one of those? Like, because for real, it's the Jordan thing with PSG, so that is different.
I've got a friend who's a Man United fan, and he bought a Barca tracksuit.
He's
casually. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't get my head around it, but it happens.
No, but if he's your friend, that means he's not even the generation, bro. Or is he a lot younger?
No, he's nice. He's doing my look. Shout out to Dean, bro. Look, his son.
That's wild to me.
But my oldest nephew is he's going to be 17 this year. Yeah, he's a big Tottenham fan, you know, and him and his dad are big Tottenham fans. Yeah, actually, my other nephew, his younger brother's a big Tottenham fan. He's got all the PSG kits. He's got his younger brother has got the new Bayern Munich kit with Harry Kane on the back because Harry Kane went to Bayern Munich.
But maybe that means that he's only done it because of Kane.
Yeah, but I think kids today are more fans of players than they are teams.
Facts.
I think that's what it is. They go where the best players are.
This generation continues to just not surprise me.
They don't support clubs like we do. Where, you know, Liverpool for us is, you know, family in Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? That's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we live and breathe it. You know, when we lose, I don't know about you guys, but I'm in the worst mood in the world.
Yeah, ruins the whole weekend.
Ruins your day, ruins everything.
When I take Stevie and Robbie to football on a Saturday, I see kids in what team does Ronaldo play? Al Nassr.
Yeah, they're in the shirts. Yeah, they're in the shirts. Yeah.
No, but I do get but they're at the age where it's easy to just like everything because you're just a kid and you're having fun. But once you reach a certain age.
No, but if you start off like that, Drift, you're gonna kind of go. But I've only ever had Liverpool, Jamaica, or England kits when I was a kid. My mum or my dad at the time could never have bought me another kit, and I go, "Oh, I'll wear that." Never.
No, because I'm not even gonna front. When I was a teenager, if someone got me an Inter Milan shirt of Ronaldo on the back, I'll wear that with pride. So like I genuinely, because I had that love for Ronaldo, so I can understand that. But there's a cutoff point, and like I didn't give a shit whether Inter Milan won the game or not. I just liked Ronaldo. Do you know what I mean? So that was just it.
Got the merch though.
I never actually did. I'm saying if someone got me, I wouldn't have gone and bought it myself. Otherwise, I'd have one.
Well,
if someone bought it for me, I'd have worn it. It's Ronaldo.
I own a youngest brother is 10 years old, and he said to me with a straight face, because I always tried to get him to support Liverpool, and he said, Callum, I support Liverpool because they're winning, but whoever wins next season, I might support.
Yeah, them. But that's how kids are now.
No, but he's 10. He should know better by
that. Like that's the casualness of young support.
No, but bro, all right, all three of us at the age of 10, we all supported Liverpool, right?
Yeah.
But
if someone said to you, "Are you going to support Liverpool next season?" You'd look at them like, "Well, obviously." You wouldn't say, "Well, Liverpool don't."
No, but is he a hardcore football fan or is he just a casual football fan?
I think there's a lot of casual.
Because if you're casual, that makes sense. If you're hardcore, you wouldn't say that. I don't.
But how many hardcore fans are there? That's what I'm saying.
Not with youngsters today. It's not with youngsters.
It's not that anymore, bro.
There's going to be youngsters out there who are in their 20s who are Liverpool through and don't give a shit.
Yeah, like a Tom Little, for example.
Yeah, but there's going to be some kids out there. I can tell you right. I would never put another shirt on that's not Liverpool Football Club because I would never go and buy a Real Madrid top because Trent went there and Trent's my favourite player and then just have Trent on the back of it. Do you know what I mean? But I can guarantee you there's got to be some fans that will.
Yeah. I mean, the ones in Liverpool, they'll have to keep that secret because if they get caught,
there's got to be some people that will. They will do it. Also, tell us go up.
R9 is the only guy that could have made me wear another shirt because it would have just been about him. Yeah, no one else. But if you would support one team today and another team tomorrow, I just think you're a casual football fan. I don't think any hardcore football fan jumps clubs. That's not a thing. That doesn't happen.
And I am tribal. Big up, we know. I am tribal. That's just why I am. I'm 43, man. I only know one club, man.
Yeah.
You get married in the eyes of God, and that's your wife the rest of your life, and then your football club's the same. That's how I look at it. Yeah.
Do you know what though? Big up to Kathy in the chat.
Kathy was saying, yeah.
Kathy was saying though, they grow up different in Liverpool, so that's why the Trent situation can't really be applied to when we're just talking about like random people who would do things like buy a PSG kit, whatever. Because in that city, it doesn't matter what generation you are. The rule continues to be the same. Liverpool's always going to be number one, and that is just what it is. So, what is Trent's reason for thinking Real Madrid is bigger than Liverpool? If he's grown up in that bubble and he's been indoctrinated into that way of thinking, what is his reasoning for thinking Real Madrid is bigger than Liverpool?
Have you guys listened to Paddy Plymouth's interview today?
I just saw the 50 seconds.
I can't play it because I'll get copyrighted by TNT. But yeah, I mean he's dead to him. And that's how Scousers are thinking. That's how they look at it.
Obviously, Jay, we follow Paddy probably closer than most other people. And on one hand, you're screaming about men's mental health, and then another hand, you're calling another man.
Yeah, I hear it. And he said it cold as well, with zero emotion. Right. He said it was zero.
The same guy who's dragged other people and done a bit of a madness himself. And I'm like, what are we doing?
If we were Scousers and we were brought up in the city, we all might think differently right now. Do you know what I mean? Because we're not. We got that disconnect. Maybe it's a bit harder for us to get our heads around it. But I mean, I can't speak for.
And look, do you know what? He can go. Just understand your legacy's ruined.
Yeah,
that's it. Just understand your legacy. There's consequences to everything. So no one's telling you don't go and all that stuff.
Called him a lizard.
You've just ruined your legacy.
He called him a lizard. Oh man!
And do you want to know what's even more ironic? There was I can't remember who it was, but it was actually, that's why I know maybe these guys do watch us like as football YouTubers. But there was somebody famous, I can't remember who it was, and he said literally what I said. Go and ask Steve McManaman and go and ask Michael Owen what it feels like to leave Liverpool and the rejection you get. And even though he went on and won the Champions League and he won things, and McManaman is looked at as a great player, I know deep down, if he was honest, he would say he hates the fact he's not a Liverpool legend. I know he would. He's a Scouser. Why would he not hate the fact he's not a Liverpool legend? So if you can live with that, cool. Don't even worry about it. Go Madrid and do your thing, bro. But how's he going to feel when he comes back to Liverpool and no one gives a shit he's back?
I'm going to say it right now. I think Trent stayed.
If he does... He's owed a massive apology by a lot of people. But if he goes and it comes out, the club did everything they could have done to keep him, and he still left, then I'm fully on that wave. Fully.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I think they could to keep him, bro. What would? Because I mean, you can within your own internal thing move the goalpost as far as you want, because we'll never know what your standard is of that. But like, if the club offered him $250 a week,
yeah.
You think that he's bad to reject that, or you think the club is bad for offering that much?
Me personally, the most I'd have gone to for Trent is 300. But if the club thought 250 was enough, I can't be too mad at the club. I can't be.
Okay, so then that would be when you would think it was more Trent just wanted to go, kind of.
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I still probably wouldn't have the same vim towards him in terms of calling him a mistake. I'll just be like, you should have stayed a bit longer, in my opinion. But I'm not going to have... I don't see myself... Unless I find that he's done a madness behind the scenes, his brother's done a madness. To call him a snake and all these things. But I didn't hear Suarez and Torres get called these things. But I'm hearing Trent, who's actually been a legendary...
No, Torres was called a snake. 100% Torres was called a snake.
Torres was forgiven a month or two
later.
Later.
Bro, do you remember when Aga smashed him, the entire crowd stood up and cheered,
because we played Chelsea the game after he signed.
No, but he was seen as a Judas. Bro, no one liked Torres.
Everyone said they would take Torres back. He gets clapped to this day at Anfield when he does Legends Game.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with all that 10 years later.
Suarez came out and said he wanted to go. He got Cavani to come out and say it and all this. He still gets clapped at Anfield. People still love Coutinho. This guy said he wanted to leave Liverpool because he had a back injury and all this.
No, but he's not. He's not a legend. Coutinho's not looked at as a legend.
No,
I
but
don't even think
Suarez and Torres are.
No, I don't think Torres is looked at like a legend. I don't think he
drift, bro. Torres
wow, sorry. I was just listening to that Paddy stuff. He said he isn't even a scouser anymore.
because he's keeping it real.
Paddy went mad. But look, I can hear it. But look, let's get on some other news. So I don't know if you heard this. I think you guys might have spoke about it earlier. Ryan Gravenberch's agent was a bit mathy, ain't he? So he's another player he wants to go to Real Madrid. Ryan Gravenberch. Have you seen the quotes for this, guys?
Yeah,
I haven't. No,
he did correct himself, but even still,
has he corrected himself?
Well, he came out and said it is his. The agent said it's his dream to play for. It's his dream club. Real Madrid's his dream club, but it's not for Ryan, or Ryan still loves being at Liverpool. Either way, just shut your mouth and don't say.
Why would he say it in the first place?
Yeah, like it's so unnecessary.
This is what's doing my head in about agents and all
but
that.
There's a pattern emerging though, guys, because we've seen Luis Diaz's dad was a chatty patty. Now Gravenberch, his agent's a chatty patty. I think McAllister's dad was speaking today. I don't know what the
about Real Madrid as well.
Like, can they not just be told like, don't speak to the media? Like, don't speak about my footballing career and my footballing future to the media.
It's another bit of we don't need to hear it sort of like news, ain't it?
I'll be real. I'd rather hear it from the parents than the agent, if I'm going to be honest. Because the agent's directly dealing with the player. Like Luis Diaz's dad and McAllister's dad don't directly deal with the club and all. Like hearing it from the agent, I don't want to hear that nonsense. Like, what are you doing there?
Although it's scary when you hear the parents say it, because you know the parents can influence the player more than anyone.
More than the agent, Drift?
Yeah, because I think if the dad is there, let's say, for example, the agent wants you to move and the dad sits in on the conversation. If the dad doesn't want you to move, I think the player would kind of look at his dad a little bit more than they'd look at the agent.
I think you're thinking about your relationship with your dad, though, Drift, and the respect
the agent can't hit you with his belt.
But wouldn't you have that respect for your dad if your dad was in on the meeting though? Like you would have that loving relationship, right? Otherwise he wouldn't be involved.
You can still have that respect, but you might trust the agent more because, quote unquote, the agent would be seen as the expert in the situation.
Yeah, that's possible. That is possible.
I hear what you're saying, by the way, because I would trust my brother, for example, if he was in the room.
If your brother was sitting in and the agent was telling
you
something, and your brother wasn't.
You both know the relationship I have with Calvin, though. So, like,
yeah. No, but I would like to hope that anyone who's got their dad in on the thing has got that relationship. Do you get what I mean? Otherwise, why have you brought them in the room? Do you know what I mean? It would be like so. Yeah, I think they're both worrying, to be honest, the agent and the parents, because you just never know who can influence the player. I mean, and I'm not going to lie, you lot know how much I love Gravenberch, but his first standout season at Liverpool is not the time now to start the whole, maybe I should go to a bigger club. Big man, 1 year. Let's do it again. How about we do it again before you start wanting to duck out? Like, what we doing here? Like, don't make me turn on you, Grav. You know what I'm saying? I was one of your biggest defenders. Don't let me turn on you, bro. Like, what we doing here? So,
yeah, it's mad, ain't it? Grav has one good season, and all of a sudden, this news comes up again. It just seems.
I tell you what, guys, this is the telling part. Let's forget for a second who you think's a better manager, who you think's a better tactician, who you think's about anything out of Slot and Klopp. Yeah, let's forget that for a second. Let's just talk about the stature of the man. And
I know where you're going. I'm going to ask the same question.
When Jurgen Klopp was in charge at Liverpool, we became the destination. How comes we're back to being a stepping stone?
Yeah.
What is going on, you man? That's a worry, right? That is a worry. When we had Klopp, we became the destination. The manager set that precedence of, I'm here now. Now we are who we are. You want to come here. We get players. I'm a little worried that now Klopp's left, all of a sudden it's all greener on the other side now. I don't like that.
To be fair to Klopp, he had that aura for so long. You know, what he did at Mainz was a minor miracle. I know he didn't win anything particular with Mainz, but just getting that team promoted for the first time in history and keeping them there for as long as he could, then obviously they got relegated to financial problems, is a minor miracle. the way he brought Borussia Dortmund from the dead and made them one of the best teams in Europe. The way he brought
Jay, he earned the right.
He's got that aura already.
Yeah.
To be fair to Slot, he hasn't really got that aura yet. You know what I mean? No. Slot's only managed. I think this is his 7th year, so he's got to get that
Jay,
aura. Slot's just got aura, ain't he? He's got
but what worries me, Jay, about that situation is that Liverpool's supposed to have aura no matter what. That's the part that worries me. Klopp was supposed to just make that aura go to like Avengers level. Yeah. It wasn't supposed to be if Klopp leaves, all of a sudden Liverpool aren't looked at as a good club anymore. Because if Real Madrid or Barcelona lose a manager, they don't lose aura.
Can I ask a question?
Sorry, can I just put go for something in between that? In the Klopp years, did we have players that would be eyed up by the likes of Real Madrid compared to now? What I'm saying is Fabinho already played for Real Madrid, so he's probably not going to go back. I don't think Real Madrid would ever come in for someone like Jordan Henderson and Gini Wijnaldum.
Salah and Mane,
Bobby, Trent,
Virgil. Salah and Virgil are still here, so they're not going anywhere. They're about to apparently sign new contracts. If you look at people like Gravenberch and McAllister, they're like the new breed of midfielders that would be more linked to someone like Real Madrid than Henderson and Gini would be, if that makes sense.
The rumor was that Mane would have been sold at the end of the league winning season if the pandemic didn't happen, right? Because Zidane.
Mane was.
And the rumor was that Mane wanted to move on at that point. What I will say though, I hear what you're saying, Drift, and I'm not even trying to crash it on the club here, but Arteta's at Arsenal, and none of his players seem to want to leave. And they're not winning.
We don't know until a big club goes in.
Saliba literally come out the other day and was like, "No, I want to stay at Arsenal." Saka's signed new deals since he's been.
I think it's because they're on good money and they live in London.
All right, so that was my next point. Is this bigger than a Slot thing? Then is this one maybe the agent's trying to play a bit of a fast one and say,
"Oh yeah, it's bigger than Slot." Yeah, no. My point was, why have Liverpool lost aura without Klopp? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what's going on? Why
only two players I can think of leaving under Klopp that you were like, "Whoa," was like Mane and Coutinho, right?
Yeah.
Unless I'm missing anyone, but they're the two main ones. Obviously, we lost Gini, Emre Can on a free, and a couple other guys, but the two superstars we lost were Mane and Coutinho.
Yeah, and I think Mane was a little bit of an outlier in terms of. I'm sure I read an article where he said
he was at the end of his career.
He wanted to play in as many leagues as he could, though. Like he had like a thing where he wanted to experience as many cultures as possible before he retired. And if you look at the fact he's played for 2 more different countries since he left us, then it kind of aligns with what he said.
I also think in the Mane situation, I think it played out well for both parties. To be perfectly fair, where Mane was coming, he didn't really pull up trees at Bayern Munich either, did he? So
people forgetting he left Liverpool as Ballon d'Or runner-up, though, and he would have won it if we'd won the Champions.
He went, but I think you have to be clever when you let players leave, if that makes sense.
Jay, you're
a player could have a blinding year the year before, but that could have been their last great year. You have to know when.
De Bruyne won the league for Man City last year. Look what he's done this year.
I hear what you're saying, Jay. I think people do that though because they say the same thing about Gini, but it's very different a player going to a new league in a new country. And remember, but they both got injuries when they both went to the new teams.
Yeah, bad injuries as well. Yeah,
there's no they were settled at Liverpool, so to automatically say because they flopped at another place that they would have flopped the next season for Liverpool, I don't think is adding all the context. I think Mane, again, no shade, Drift. Don't punch me up over this. I think if we had kept Mane instead of buying Nunes, I don't think we finish outside the top 4 that season. For example.
Oh, I agree with that.
No, I agree. I think we all agree with that. Mane.
I think we would have continued to have just been a good team.
And if we kept Gini the season after he left, I think there's no argument to say we win the Champions League.
Yeah, I agree.
And the league. So
Gini's still playing quite well now. Years later, Carl's right. He broke his leg. Of course, his career is gonna look dodgy for him, but he broke his leg. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what we doing there? Plus, PSG were all over the place at that time.
Point, yeah.
At that point, they were all over the place. They had Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi, and didn't even look like a good team. They were all over the shop.
The thing with Gini is The club obviously, at the end of the day, the club didn't think he was worth the contract he wanted, and they decided to let him go. I mean, look, to be fair, I'm sick of losing people for free. I'm absolutely sick and tired of it. Like with this Canate situation, if Canate literally don't want to sell a new deal, it might hurt people, but you have to sell him in the summer.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't want to go. Like, if we sign Virgil and Salah, if they, obviously it's still not done, but if it is done next week and they sign that paperwork and they've signed extensions to a new contract, I don't want a year of will Canate sign next season. I just don't want it. If a Canate and Liverpool can't come to some situation in the summer and both parties are separated and definitely not, you're going to have to sell him. You're going to have to sell. I'm sick of letting class footballers leave their club for free. Do you know how much money we've wasted in the last few years?
Yeah, facts.
But and we're a sell-to-buy football club. Like, make sense of it. Sell players.
Ibu leaving is catastrophic for the future, though.
I'm not the biggest Ibu fan. So
yeah, we know, Joe.
I mean, I'm not sure why, but if Canate goes and we already need a centre back, right? Let's say Virgil stays. We live in a world where Virgil stays. Hallelujah, Virgil's staying. But we still need a centre back now. If we lose Ibu, we need 2 centre backs. That is, I don't know how we do that.
Yeah, that's scary.
That is frightening, bro. I don't know how we deal with that. I really don't know how we deal with needing 2 centre backs.
So
one of them got to be a first team starting lineup straight away as well. It's not like 2 players who can come in and get used to things. One of them's got to come in and play immediately. I don't know how we deal with that. I really don't.
And this is my thing of Canate as well. I said this to Cal, like, apparently Ibu wants 200 grand a week, yeah? And there's a sticking point there. I understand the sticking point, right? But my thing is, yeah, I might not rate Canate as highly as some, but I can still say he's an extremely good defender, right? Almost, he's not world class for me yet, but you could say he's touching that.
Yeah.
If you want to go and get a player, because the club tries to get players, what they've told us is equal to what they've got, yeah? So you let Canate go, then you've literally got to go and find a player that's good enough to replace Canate at the same kind of age with the same kind of metrics. So eventually he's going to want 200 grand a week as well. So they just have to bite the bullet now, and it looks like they bit the bullet with Virgil and Mo. It doesn't look like it's an age thing. I think this age myth goes out the window now. Do you just go to Virgil and go, look?
They are outliers.
I don't know. They don't forget, we signed James Milner when he was free at 30 years of age. We kept him for 8 years.
29.
Yeah, 29. We kept him for 8 years. So, and he had 2 contracts. So I don't know. And Endo got a new deal. I don't think it's an age thing. I think the club look at it. If you're physically not good enough for us no more, we move you on. That's why they wanted Hendo moved on the year before he did, a couple of years before he did, because they could see it was about to happen. And we're a sell-to-buy football club. So let's sell Hendo, let him go, get someone else in who's fresh, and we keep rotating that way. But with Canate, you've got to go and get a player that's Canate's level and give him that contract. I don't think the young centre-backs out there are as good as Canate is right now. And if they are, you're going to have to give them over 200 grand a week anyway. So I look at it, if I'm the football club, being smart and looking at it, I'll go, get Ibu in, go tell him, look, Virgil's staying for another couple of years. We want you to stay as well. Let's just try and sort this contract out. 180, 200 grand. Let's get it sorted and sign this thing.
All right, let's just quickly have a look at some of the players who've left Liverpool in the last decade. How many times do we renew contracts as a whole, as a club? Like, honestly, I can think of a few where it's happened. Henderson, Milner, they got new contracts. Virgil got a new contract. Salah got a new contract. Mane got a new contract.
This will be Salah's third.
Bobby got a new contract. Bobby got a new contract.
All the players they think of the past.
Trent got a new contract. Matip got a new contract.
Alisson.
So there are Alisson got a new contract. So we do hand out new contracts.
All the class players, basically.
But then I'm looking at some of the other people like Genie, Emery Chan.
They thought they were replaceable. That's why they let them go.
Yeah, and Naby, and we just let them go. This is the first
James
renewal
Milner
for
got-
Konate, right? This is Ibu's first renewal.
I think Milner got 3 renewals or 2 renewals, something like that. 2 renewals, was it?
So I'm just looking. I'm just trying to think. Like Shaqiri didn't get a renewal.
Shaqiri didn't lose. We didn't lose Shaqiri on a free though.
No, we didn't. I'm just trying to think like what the percentage is for renewals and not.
Origi got a renewal.
Origi got a renewal.
Yeah,
he went on loan and signed the renewal.
He needed to score the win in the Champions League to get out of.
No, didn't he get it when he went on loan? Didn't we renew?
No, he did it. He did it when he scored the winning goal.
Jay's right. He got 2. So I think because remember he went on loan.
He's had a cup for 8 years, man. He must have got.
He got. I think he got 2 new. I think he got 2 renewals. He got one before he went to. Was it Wolfsburg on loan when we signed Solanke, and then he got another one a year after he.
No, but that would have been that one, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that have been the one when we won the Champions League?
No, we because he went on loan, I think, in the 17-18 season, I think, or 17-18 season. Because remember, it was Solanke who was on the bench for the Champions League. Then he came back in 18-19. You barely saw him until he scored that last-minute winner against Everton, 96th minute.
But I remember shouting at Matt saying, give him whatever he wants in his contract when he scored the winning goal, because I'm sure that was only had a year left on his deal.
But
I'm sure it was.
We would have signed him in.
When did he leave? He left 2 years ago now, didn't he?
Yeah, because we signed him. We signed him
under Brendan Rodgers.
Wasn't it 2014? We signed him.
It was the World Cup. So he just went to the World Cup and Benteke got injured, so he had to start for Belgium.
So we would have signed him in 2014, but he wouldn't have come until the 2015-16 season because he stayed at his club for 1 year.
Yeah, he stayed in Brendan Rodgers'
I've got it here, guys. I've got it here. So, I mean, Origi's a bad example. He never even earned a lot of money. Most he ever got was 60 grand a week at Liverpool. His average wage at Liverpool was 45 grand a week. It was easy to renew. It was easy to renew Origi. He was on peanuts.
I'd say that's all his workflow to be.
He started on 8 grand, got a pay rise to 23, then to 25. That must have been part of his contract, like it goes up every year. Then his renewal was 40. Then that went to 42 to 45. And then his next contract got him a bump to 60, and then he left. So he never earned a lot of money at Liverpool. He's probably a bad example.
Well, it's like Curtis Jones and Bradley. I think they will get contracts easily. Kelleher, Bradley. I think Bradley and Jones will get new contracts in the summer because their contracts are easy to do because they're only on like 25 grand.
We thought Trent's was easy, bro.
Well, they're only on 25 grand a week.
I did anyway.
They're only on 25 grand a week, ain't they? And so they're easy to do. So
I do think the club has to have a shift in mentality with the whole wages thing now, though.
Facts.
I think it has to be. Otherwise, we're going to lose players, and we're not going to be able to attract the next crop of top players either.
If all our best players are on the best wages and it filters down nicely, that's how it should be. I think we can all agree with that.
Agree. Then we're going to lose out because even I've seen loads of people saying, "Oh, PSG offered Kvaratskhelia outrageous wages." I think he's on like 160.
No, he's on 307 grand a week.
I don't think he is, Jay.
No, yeah, it's on thingy. It's on Capology. He's on 307 grand a week. They had to up it because of the tax in France. It's very high. It's like 9 million a year he makes or something mad like that. It's quite a lot. I think it's like 300 grand a week. Well, you just read out a couple of supers. Big up John Conway. Big up Jamie Drifton Cow. There's no player bigger than the club, and players come and go, but Liverpool will be still here. You never walk alone. Yeah, damn right, John. Big up, man. Big up Jax as well. Grav's agent works for many Dutch players. He did the same. Me think with Van der Ven from Spurs. Good point. Big up to you as well. Thanks for the super. Yeah, Kvaratskhelia makes big money because I believe it's because of the taxes in France are very high, ain't they? Are very high. So yeah, he makes 307 grand a week or something like that, I believe.
But here's the thing. Us three, I think, would all pay cover 200k a week, right?
Yeah.
I don't think the club would do that.
No, they wouldn't. They weren't looking at him. They weren't. To be fair, So what I've heard with the Kravitz that apparently him and PSG have been talking for 12 months.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone was getting Gravenberch apart from PSG.
Yeah.
I
reckon the club tried to chance it like they did with Caicedo. They knew he'd become available. They knew Napoli would sell, and they thought, let's just try it. Let's just try something here.
Yeah, Ibu's on 85 grand a week. Wants a bump, exactly. Like when we bought Ibu was at 35 grand a week at Leipzig, so we doubled his wages on 70 odd grand. And he was happy to sign that contract at the time, which is fine. But then you can't go to the guy when he's been very good and he's obviously Liverpool's second best centre back. You can't go to him with the way the world is today and go, you're worth less than 180 grand a week. It's just the way of the world now. You've got to pay these players a wage that is fair. And
is that the problem then, guys? Are Liverpool is there scouting about getting players who are on low wages that's easy to manipulate? Is it like a real? Is that part of what we think it is? Then?
Well, we've kind of done that the whole time. Apart from maybe Thiago, we've always done that. Right?
So Lenny Yoro went to Man United.
Good or bad?
Lenny Yoro went to Man United for 115 grand a month. Yeah, a week. Sorry, 115 grand a week.
Yeah.
Liverpool managed to get Konate for 70 grand a week, yeah, because we just doubled his wage from Leipzig. If Konate went to Man United, they would have gave him probably 120 off the bat.
Yeah.
But Liverpool didn't need to do that, and they still convinced him to sign the contract. So
but then the renewal's the problem, Jay.
And it's the renewals that's the issue. So Liverpool have to pay the renewals. So
wouldn't it be better for Liverpool to change their strategy? And let's say you give a player a 5-year contract. Rather than waiting until the 4th year when said player becomes the player that you hope the player becomes when you sign them, wouldn't it be better to do incremental of like upgrading their contracts every 2 years, for example? So instead of Ibu now wanting 180 to 200, you go after 2 years, you go, you know, Ibu, you're on 70, we'll bump you up to 100. And that way you're gradually increasing. So it's not a massive jump when you go from 70 to like
gradual increase.
Yeah.
And you keep the player happy because you're rewarding the player as the contract goes on. Like Cole Palmer signed for Chelsea, not summer gone, the summer before, and he's already had a new contract.
Yeah.
Like if you reward players like that, then surely you're not going to have this impactful situation where you're having to do massive jumps from 70, because it is a big jump from 70 to 200k. It's a massive jump. But if you just done little incrementals while you're still extending the contract, then you're protecting yourself. You're showing the player they have appreciated. Surely it's a win-win, right?
Yeah, it should be. It should be the way it works. I agree. Do you know what's bad, though? We did used to do that. Didn't Salah after that blinding year get a bump?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
You know, so we did used to do things like that and reward players.
Didn't Bobby get a renewal after 17, 18, or was it 18, 19?
Something like that. He got a bump. Yeah. With Konate, is the fact that only this season really has he been really available for the football club? Is that gone against him? Is that what's gone against him a little bit? Because his first 2 seasons were a bit injury.
I don't know, man.
I just don't know what's been going on over the past few years. It literally feels as though FSG just gave Klopp too much to do, and you can't nowadays in football you can't be managing the transfers, managing the contracts, and managing the on-field stuff. It's impossible nowadays. You could have done that back in the day when there was less to do. But now, I just don't know if Klopp got the support he should have got personally.
No, he probably did. He probably got. I think they gave too much trust to him and gave him all the power, and because they gave him all the power, it's very difficult for managers to.
Yeah.
That's why he probably aged very quickly, because he was sporting director, manager, coach.
Let's be honest. Every now and again, you hear rival fans talk about wages, but why are we the only club who really has to worry about wages?
Because the media, the PR, bro. I keep on saying FSG's PR is unmatched. It's unmatched.
If we think about signing players, guys, we immediately go, can we afford his wages? We are brainwashed.
Jay, until you just told me what Lenny Yoro's salary was, I had no idea. I've never heard a Man United fan go, I don't know, Lenny Yoro's on 115k a week. I've never heard it.
That's why he went Man United, because Real Madrid and Liverpool weren't paying that. It's like Man City's new midfielder they got. He's been playing every week, apart from when he got injured. What's his name? The new DM they got.
Nico Gonzalez.
He's only on 60 grand a week.
Yeah, but he probably was on Porto. Notoriously played quite small wages.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Liverpool searched for players that are extremely talented on small wages, so they can keep giving them, in theory, small wages. But Liverpool's problem is the renewal side of it, and this is wages. If you look at the way we do wages, I think it's the most realistic way of doing wages, and it should be that way in football. But you got teams out there that will give people like Fofana 200 grand a week from the jump when he's never proved anything in football. Is that the fault of FSG that you got balmy clubs out there doing balmy things?
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's still the market.
But because they're doing balmy things, it makes the market change. And because the market's now changed, you have to go in line with the market, don't you?
Yeah, you have to, bro.
So they got no choice but to do what the market is doing. So
you have to go with what everyone else is doing. It's unfortunate that there's fish in the sea that have to worry about killer whales and sharks eating them. But that's just the world they live in. And if they don't,
Drift, back in the day, how much would you get four pieces of planting for?
£1.
How much is it now for free?
150 or 180.
Exactly.
And I was in Asda, and Asda want £1.50 for one.
Yeah, I know.
I nearly called the manager and slapped him.
It's mad,
£1.50 for one piece of planting.
When I was a kid, when I started secondary school in 1992, I started secondary school, and my mum gave me 50p every day, and that 50p got me a can of Coke and a Twix.
You can't even get the can without the Coke for 50p now, bro.
When I was at school, I could I'll go one better. When I was at school, 50p, bro, I could have bought a drink, which would have been a Panda Pop or that one that you put.
I used to love the Panda Pops, man.
Big up Panda Pops.
I could have got a Freddo or a Chomp.
Facts.
I could have got Tangy Toms or Space Invaders, and I could have also got a Wham Bar. Or a pack of Frosties. So with 50p, I could come out of there with a chocolate, sweet, crisp, and a drink.
Yeah, not mad.
Now, what can you buy for 50p now?
Yeah, I'm very middle class, though, Drift, so I went for brand names. No.
I heard that Freddo's a 35p now.
No, some
60p.
No, some are 75p.
60p for a Freddo.
Yeah, bro. Where have you been?
Do you know what makes me laugh? That's how people talk about inflation, ain't it? The price of a Freddo. So when they came out to a 5p, weren't they? When they first came
out. Sorry, Asda are doing it for 35p.
5p.
No, but Cal, even the fact they were 10p when we were kids is wild. It's 35. Do you know how small a Freddo is, you lot? Have you ever actually seen how small a Freddo is?
Do you remember Taz bars that were the same size with caramel in them?
I think so.
Oh, yeah. Bro, do you know how much it is to get on the bus now?
No, because I'm not a scumbag.
I think it's 150.
I think it's more than 150.
It's more than
150.
175. 175.
40p for me back in the day.
I tell you when I knew the world had gone mad, when I traveled the other day, and you know when we had our meeting, Cal. Do you know how much? Do you know how much I got charged from TFL? £18.90 for that day. £18.90 for that day's travel. £20 now to travel in London for a day. Are you taking the piss out of my life?
That's the way the world is.
£20 to travel in London for a day. Are you taking the piss out of my life?
But we can't. Let's be real. We can't sit there and go, well, you know, back in the day, it used to be that price, so we are not traveling.
No,
we have to.
It's either walk or pay it.
All right. So this is what I'm saying. FSG, you either deal with it or you go somewhere.
They got to be in line with the market. They have to be in line with the market. They got no choice. They have to be in line with the market,
bro. Yeah.
So guys, we got West Ham Sunday afternoon. Is it 2:00 again?
Yeah.
Home. Obviously they've had a week's rest. We're only playing once a week now. with this news, obviously, of Virgil and Salah coming through as well, I think it's press conferences tomorrow morning, I believe. So we'll get more news tomorrow. Do you expect to see a better display this weekend against West Ham with a bit more, pep in their step with the the contract renewals?
I'm gonna look at West Ham's form just quickly, bro. I want to know.
They lost the Wolves and drew to their last game, I think.
West Ham's form all season's been crazy.
Nah, guys, I'm not gonna lie. West Ham's form's actually not too shabby, I mean, they drew it. They drew. They lost and they won. Oh no, sorry, I was looking at Wolves. Sorry, my bad. Because Wolves have won 3 in a row. So, West Ham is draw, loss, win. So they're coming into this game with a win, but their form before that was terrible.
Yeah, so we've all got West Ham at home. We should smash them, shouldn't we?
Yeah, they could be coming into this game with 5 wins. It's not even me being arrogant. This should be 3 points from the board.
I'm quite comfortable with our home games till the end of the season, to be fair. And I think if we only win our home games, we win the league anyway. So I don't think it'd be a problem. But do you think Conor Bradley starting at right back will be the difference that we need? Because you saw what having a proper right back does to our team when he came on against Fulham in that second half, Cal. So you think Conor Bradley makes a big difference this side?
Yeah, absolutely. Jay, just to go one further from what you just said, it's not just our team. Valverde playing right back for Real Madrid the other day hampered them.
It's not working, is it? It's not working.
They needed his energy in midfield, just like we've probably needed Jones in midfield rather than at right back the last few games to just give Gravenberch a rest. So I think the knock-on effect it has. I think Bradley come back to right back, allows Jones, McAllister, and Gravenberch to rotate. Also gives Salah an outlet as well, because he's not going to have to come as deep to get the ball, and he's now got a foil who can run beyond him to use as a decoy or to actually play him through if need be. It gives us more width on the pitch, because it means Jones is always coming in field to where he's comfortable. Bradley's not going to do that. He'll hold wide when he needs to. It just have a massive knock-on effect. That's why I'm confident going into this game, because Bradley's back.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, he just pimp slapped a fly. It's.
I hate summertime with these little gnats, man. They
Drift, Conor Bradley back in the team. Much needed.
Oh, 100%. I know Cal thinks I go too far when I say this, but we don't actually need a replacement for Trent. We have one already. I think Bradley's an absolute superstar in the making. It's just his injuries I worry about. If he can keep himself fit for 90% of the season, I don't even think we need to worry about Trent leaving. We have to adapt because of where we play will be different. But I think Conor Bradley going forward is good. And I think the way he defends is orthodox. And I like the idea of an orthodox right back. So, and Kirkes, I think, could maybe become the fullback that maybe gets forward a little bit more. And we just change the side. And we attack a little bit more from the left if we do get Kirkes. So, yeah, people might think I'm going too far. Some people are going to say it's copium. But I think Conor Bradley's absolutely top draw. Draw.
I think if you look at the metrics of Conor Bradley and you look at right backs out there, obviously there's right backs that are better than Conor Bradley right now than where they are in their career. But when you've got someone like Conor Bradley who's this young, and there's obviously the club think a lot of him, do you just go with that gamble and start him as your main right back next season, Cal? Or do you look at it and go, like, you just need a bit of experience there? I really rate Conor Bradley. My issue of Conor Bradley has been his injuries. I'm just hoping he's just where he's young, his body's growing and developing. A bit like what happened to Stevie. He really got through it by the time he was 22, 23, and he kicked on and he saw what he'd become. So, and I'm not going to lie,
when you say Stevie there, I thought about Callum's son. That is mad. That is so mad.
5 years old going through growing pains. And
that is mad.
Tomorrow morning, Stevie just kicks.
That just shows what a good job Cal's done, because I didn't even think of the legend when I heard Stevie. That's mad.
He just kicks the bedroom door open tomorrow. Oh, Dad. What you think?
The hammy's gone again, Dad. The hammy's gone again.
No, look, Tyrell's saying the same. Yeah, I think of Cal's little one now. I don't even think of the captain anymore, bro. That's mad. That is actually.
We made Stevie a legend. Big up, Cal.
Hold on a minute. I know this is going to sound like a really stupid question. The 4-year-olds pull muscles. Like I've never heard a 4-year-old pull a muscle before.
No, I don't think.
No.
Well, everything's like it's like they don't really break their bones easily either because it's all cushioned, ain't it?
Well, so with Alonso, we've been told she's we think Alonso's either hyperflexible or double jointed.
She hypermobile, yeah.
So we've got to be very careful with her because she can.
What the joints are too flexible.
Yeah, Penny's elbow. Penny can turn her elbow completely around.
Like you see, you know when you take off your t-shirt, and, like she can take her top off, and it's got like her. She can pull her arm without letting go of the t-shirt.
Mobile. Yeah.
Like the first time she did it, bro, I freaked out. I was like, "Oh my god, you
broke her!"
She popped her shoulder, like she's done. Like, but like literally, like she can climb because she's so flexible. She can climb out of her cot. So like she can literally get her leg up to her shoulder, climb out of the cot.
Oh shit! Okay,
so be very careful.
It's flexibility.
So when you're that young, you can't really pull hammies and all that, can you?
Really? It's not even developed, is it? It's not even developed. Is it?
Let's just put it this way: the stuff I see Stevie and Robbie do, if I tried it, Can you imagine your 5-year-old son or something like that, just running around the front room and he starts going like this, and
That's what I'm saying. I've never seen a little kid pull a hammy or anything. Yeah, or I've seen a little kid break their arm before. I've seen that happen. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's strange. Yeah,
it's mad. Kids are very bouncy.
But yeah, so back to what was you saying about Steve?
Yeah, you're asking if I'd get what I do for Conor Bradley without making the main right back. I would want to get a right back in as good as Bradley, or in fact, no, tell a lie. I'm just going to be straight shooting.
A more mature right back.
I want a better right back than Conor Bradley. And if Conor Bradley is the guy, he'll become the guy, regardless of that right back being there or not.
Depends for me, bro.
I mean, am I allowed to say names on here? Is this a safe space? Is anyone going to say
what?
I'll say a random name. Say somehow Liverpool pulled off Hakimi.
There is a question.
Not playing if he signed Hakimi.
Do you know what? Sorry, Regista's read my mind. That's my ideal situation.
I think Bradley's better than him.
No, he's not.
Honestly, I think Bradley's better than him.
I like him, but I think the club will think he's better than him as well, and it's a waste of money.
He's not. Bradley is not better than him. Not this version. He's not.
But we need these Forest players to do it another year, Cal. We need them to do it another year.
Me personally, that's who I'd go. Obviously, the other person I don't think is achievable. The one who plays for Tottenham, but
Pedro Porro.
Oh, you're on that way.
No, not Pedro.
Oh yeah, Spence. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
I apologized to you a long time ago. Spence is the guy. I actually think Spence is the one we should go for.
I think if Liverpool buy right back, it's got to be Frimpong.
It won't be Spence.
If we buy Frimpong, you know we've effed up, right? He's not good defensively.
The only way it won't be I agree with you, by the way, Drift. The only way it won't be an F up is if we actually do the whole get a supremely defensive left back.
It's because what Frimpong can do, he's got the pace to get up and down. And that's something.
If we buy Frimpong, I'm hoping it's because he's back up and Bradley starts.
It's because if you look at our fullbacks don't get back when they're forward quick enough. Some like Frimpong will. I think that's why we're looking at him.
I know, but if he's going to get back there and give away penalties and
I was going to say,
I don't want him getting back though. Do you know?
Alex asked this earlier for Callum, so we had to save it. What does Callum think about the signing of Kirkes, Hoyson, and Ekintike?
I'm guessing that he's bantering, asking Cal.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys actually want me to answer this or not. Because
you can answer. I don't believe in curses.
Okay, Drift does.
I'm not saying you have.
We know what the cow's curse is now. You googled it earlier, didn't you?
No, because you know what? Yeah, I don't even want to be shady. Yeah, the cow's curse is wild. I don't even want to be shady here, but maybe Alex doesn't want these signings.
It could be reverse psychology, isn't it?
It might be reverse psychology here.
Yeah, it could be. If we sign those players again, I don't think any of them players would be my first choice, but I would not be upset with those signings at all.
I think Ekitike would do extremely well for Liverpool next season.
I've got to be honest, yeah. This is where I'm going to fall into the bracket that I say you shouldn't even fall into. If that's our summer, I'm going to feel like we shopped in Audi and I'm going to be so pissed off. And then all three of them could go on to be absolute world beaters. But in the moment, it's going to feel like you shopped at Frankfurt and Bournemouth when we just won the league. Is this what we're really doing here? Like,
but the thing is, though, and I hear your drift, and I think that's where we got to start looking at, like, there's quality footballers
who are just
everywhere.
Not like that.
Look at the players. Some of the PSG players have come from, and look how good they are balling out.
Yeah,
and now we want them. And now we want them. So
look at Kvaratskhelia, Kim Min-jae when they signed him at Napoli. You look at Kante, Mahrez. There are.
Do we have the time though, guys, for that? If defending champion,
let's be real. I mean, Kante came into the premise that this is mine. Like,
yeah, he did.
He didn't really need no war.
Yeah. He's an outlier though.
Yeah, Mahrez needed half a season.
Yeah,
I think sometimes we've got to not look at the club and look at the player.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's why I said I can tell I'm just being a spot brat.
I hear it though.
But like, it does feel weird to be league champion. And then Frankfurt and Bournemouth is where you shop for your entire summer. It would be like, what are we doing here? What? No Harrods, no Selfridges, no Waitrose, no M&S. Like, we're going to Audi and Lidl when we just won the league. What's going on? But
no, I hear you. I do. Look, I think what is going to happen in the summer, Liverpool go buy good footballers, but they're not going to be big hits with the fans straight away.
Yeah.
But they will eventually prove people wrong, i.e. like Mane and Salah did.
And
Bobby. Like, Bobby came from Hoffenheim, right? I don't remember anyone really knowing who no one really knew who Bobby was when he was at Hoffenheim, yeah. Came through.
I did.
You knew, yeah, because you had his poster at Hoffenheim, you know. But no one really.
I was furious.
But it was so much that not a lot of people knew. Like Brendan Rodgers thought he was a wing back.
Brendan thought a lot.
Didn't know what to do with him. You know, and everyone thought, "Who's
no,
this
but
guy?"
Jay, is the difference there, though, bro? And I'm gonna take a page out of Cal's book here. We were building then. We're at the top of the mountain now.
Yeah,
you can take risks like Bobby from Frankfurt when you're from Hoffenheim, so when you're up and coming. But when you're defending champions, you're really supposed to go and do the summer like we did last time. Let's be honest. If we'd have bought a centre back, that was the most perfect champion summer. We bought Tsimikas, Jota, Thiago. If you'd have put Konate in that as well, that would have been the absolute perfect summer you could ever ask.
We're saying that in hindsight.
Jota's from Wolves.
No, but at the time, well, you know already, Cal.
No, but you did. But Jota had to win over the fan base.
Yeah.
Konate would have had to win over the fan base because it would have been off the back of an injury season as well. Remember, for Konate.
All right, and let's forget about
and no one knew about Tsimikas either.
Maybe some of it is hindsight. Maybe you're right.
Thiago's the one that everyone goes, "Wow, we signed."
Well, I obviously, you know already, Jota. I was over the moon. We were signing Jota, so like.
But did you think Jota would be a striker for Liverpool? Because I thought Jota would interchange with Mane, for example.
I thought Jota would play left and right wing. That's why I thought we were buying.
Do you know how good Jota was? Jota came in and broke up the famous three. You know, he took. He also scored one of the best hat tricks I've ever seen that no one talks about at Atlanta.
Atalanta, yeah.
I thought, what have we got? You know, Mane came from Southampton at the time. You know, we and their quality.
Like, if you didn't know Mane was a bad boy, you weren't paying attention.
Some Liverpool fans weren't. Yeah, some people weren't. Some people. Look, I remember when Mo Salah came. Like,
Matt weren't on board. I
remember watching Coppish when we signed Mo Salah, and a lot of people were like, "Why?"
Yeah, I do remember.
Why have we got Mo Salah? He was failed at Chelsea. Mane plays right wing. What are we gonna do? Like,
yeah. Can I ask you both? Who would you both sign for left wing if you had your choice? Within realism, with some realism.
Oh, okay, with some level of realism.
Yeah, because like Theo Hernandez, for example, would be mine, but we ain't never.
Can I be? Maybe you're gonna laugh at me because you just told me to be real. I would throw the bag at Dewey.
Left back.
While
no, left back. You said left wing.
Left back. Oh, did I say left wing?
Yeah, you said left wing.
Oh,
yeah, you
sorry,
said
left back.
Oh, left back.
I was thinking, what? I was about to say you think Frimpong's too attacking, but you want two ways.
If money weren't an issue, I'd go and get. Is it Mendes from PSG? Or is it Mendy or Mendes? I can't remember.
That might not be realistic, but he's
literally just signing a Euro, so I would have
that's not realistic.
So we saw his goal yesterday, Drift, didn't we? It was like Robbo ain't ever scoring that kind of goal.
Yeah, Robbo's never cutting on his right foot and chipping it over the goalkeeper. That's never happening. Never happening.
If a left winger was available, I'd probably look at someone like Barcola. I don't know why I'm not looking at him.
I do like Antonio.
Because Dewey's just better, Jay. That's why.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Barcola would be available probably.
No, but I think they look at Barcola as the bigger figure. That's why I'm like, throw the bag quickly at Doué while we can get him for like 70 mil or something like that.
I'm not the biggest Nico Williams fan.
Nah, I don't know about his numbers in it with Nico Williams.
I think Diaz is better than Nico Williams. There you go, I said it.
I think they're about the same.
I don't know, Cal.
Left wing's harder.
I think Kirkes has just been etched into my mind because it's who we most look like we're going to get. That I've stopped thinking about left backs. But
be honest with you, if we get Kirkes, I'm high with it. I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with it as well. I ain't got no issue with Kirkes.
I don't know. I hope to God you two clown me in a year's time when we sign Kirkes and he's world class as it comes off the back of a world class season. There's something about Kirkes I'm just not sure about. I don't know what it is. He
reminds me of Robbo, man. He reminds me of Prime Robbo.
He does remind me of Robbo. He does.
But does Slot want Prime Robbo? Does Slot want a Robbo?
Yeah, I
would work in a Slot system.
See, I always hear about this Slot system and the way he wants to play, yeah? Because of the way he played at Feyenoord, he had certain players to play that way, and it worked best in a Dutch league with the players he had.
Yeah.
Klopp changed the way he played from Dortmund to Liverpool.
Yeah.
Could Slot just go, you know what, I'm going to play a different way even next season. That's not a way I've ever played before. We're going to do something different because I've got a higher budget, I'm going for higher caliber players, and I've got higher caliber players at my team already. So does he change it up a little bit? Is he going for something a little bit different? Because I even think we won't play a 10 next season. I think we're going to play 3 flat.
Oh, what, you think he'll completely change everything?
I think he wants more aggression in the midfield. I think he's even admitted it actually in press conferences about the aggression of the Premier League has caught him off a little bit.
Well, if that's the case, Jay, we're definitely buying a false 9. Because you can't go a flat through midfield and have an out-and-out striker because you'll have too many holes in the So we're definitely going for a false 9 if that's the case.
If that's the case, Cunha's going to be the guy.
Well,
Pedro maybe.
Well, the rumours going today that the striker that Liverpool keeping tabs on the most that suit the data is João Pedro.
You know how I feel about that already. I'm over the moon if we get João.
The thing is, though, if we're playing
I haven't been in any meetings, Cal. By the way,
if we go with this more aggressive midfield next season, we get another midfielder that's more aggressive. We go a little bit deeper, a little bit more flat, not so high up the pitch.
What if we buy Pedro and Ekitike? So we've got the young up and coming.
Ekitike can play off the left as well. He can play off the left.
But Pedro's around the same age as Ekitike.
Yeah, but obviously he's got more Prem experience. So it'll be Pedro's the one to start. Ekitike's the one to come in and adapt. And then we've got 2 different styles of player.
I think the two players I read at Liverpool, the data is telling Liverpool to buy is João Pedro and Ekitike.
If the data is telling Liverpool to buy João Pedro, they need to change the computer system. Their laptop's worse than mine.
But maybe the only reason the data goes through that is because it's the way the team play.
Brother, 8 goals and 6 assists for Brighton. Let's just Drift. You talk about shopping at Aldi, bro. I'm not being funny. We're sitting there Liam Delap's right there for 30 mil. You want to go?
I want Liam Delap.
Liam Delap's an out and out forward.
I've got a sneaky feeling Liam Delap's going to be the next Harry Kane.
Yeah, same.
I've got a sneaky feeling he's going to be a superstar.
I think in 2 years' time, people won't be talking about him.
You might be right, Drift, but I just feel Liam's got something.
There's something about him. I've watched him play quite a lot, and his hold-up plays, link-up plays, strength, his aggression.
Did we not think about? Did we not think this about Ferguson though?
Yeah, injuries done him in though, innit?
Maybe it was.
Yeah, injuries has done him in.
I'm sure his
would you
form
guys be
dropped
willing-
off even before injuries.
How much would you guys be willing to spend on João Pedro?
The thing is, though, João Pedro's going to
60
cost
mil.
you
60 mil.
João Pedro's going to cost you 60 or 7 million. Liam Delap's going to cost you 30. Liam Delap's going to cost you 30.
No, but I'm being honest. Liam Delap isn't even a snippet of the player.
If we sign João Pedro for 70 million, I'm gonna go nuts.
But that's what Liverpool do.
You
We
won't
buy
be
players for a
disappointed,
lot of
bro,
money.
I'm telling you.
What
Next
if we do
season,
this,
when
guy?
Pedro's putting it through people's legs and packing it in the top corner, you lot will be like, all
Right.
right,
He
cool.
doesn't do that now.
Let's do the old. To be fair, because me and Drift are watching quite a lot this season. When he's actually on fire, he's almost unplayable. When he's on fire,
Yeah, he is.
I remember when he came on against Man City and completely ripped them apart. Some of his one-touch plays out of this world. My problem with João Pedro is just don't seem to keep himself fit long enough.
I'm gonna say something really bad here, but didn't Szoboszlai rip Man City to shreds? And what do we all think of Szoboszlai?
I like Szoboszlai.
Not the way Pedro did, Cal. Pedro was taking the piss out of
Let's do the ultimate FSG thing here, guys. Let's do the ultimate FSG thing. So we sell Darwin Núñez for 70 million, yeah? We sell Darwin Núñez for 70 million. We go and get Liam Delap for 30 million, and we go and get Shirky for 20 million. That's a 50 million outlay. Would Shirky in our midfield, who can play right wing, and Liam Delap up top, with the rest of the players that we got, is that first 11 better next season than it is this season?
Run it.
Is that an upgrade? I'm just asking, is that an upgrade?
Technically, yes, because Delap is better than his version of Núñez and Jota, and Shirky is better than Szoboszlai in being a creative 10. So, yes.
Yeah. So
I'm not gonna lie, Shirky doesn't work back though. We'd have a lot of
Drift watched him tonight. You said he was very
Shirky is the definition of a moments player. His moments are spectacular. But if you watch the 90, you're so frustrated at his effort. You're so frustrated.
Shouldn't he have got another 2 assists today?
There you go. Don, so I'll ask you that in the super chat. There you go, Drifty. What did you think of Shirky?
Yeah. Shirky's talent is never in question. He did this thing today, guys. Yeah, I bullshit. Ask the chat if they were in the watch of me. I had to rewind it. This is how much he flicked the ball over a Man United player's head. Yeah, going back towards his goal. He's on the byline, by the way, when he done this. And as the player who was coming towards him went to get the ball, he body swiveled and flicked it back over to a player and did like a through ball. I was like, what did he just do? It was insane.
I feel like a proud dad, Jay.
I'm going to say this right here right now. I'm going to say this right here right now. If you're talking about natural God-given talent, if we sign Shirky, I think he'd be the best player at the club straight away. If you're just talking about pure raw talent, he is insanely good. But when you're talking about his output on the pitch,
just leave it there, Drift. Just leave it there, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing, ain't it? Matt Taylor says,
worry in it. That is the worry about.
Yeah, you've got to be more about it. If age is an issue, is Harry Kane not a shout?
Harry Kane would be my first choice.
Harry Kane be
second choice. Isak would be my first choice. Harry Kane would be my second choice.
Is that? I'd got Harry Kane. He's just on 400 grand a week, and that's the issue.
Yes, never happened.
What's his price drop going to be? Because obviously Harry would know if he's moving, he's probably going to take a drop in price because of his
I think
age
you could get Harry for 40 mil.
I think he's got a release clause this summer. It goes down every year. Yeah. I think he's available for 53 million.
I think it's 60 though, bro.
It's 60 million euros, which is about 53 million quid.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, Harry Kane and either Ekitike or Delap, and I'm over.
Look at
the only club crazy enough to do that would be Chelsea or Man United.
By the way, Barcelona didn't say Lewandowski. Lewandowski was too old.
Exactly.
And he is balling. Only got 40 goals this season.
Probably.
How much did they pay for Lewandowski? Can anyone remember?
They got him on a free, didn't they?
When it a free transfer. Free transfer. He was like 32 then, wasn't he?
Oh, right. I didn't realise he went there for free,
I don't think Lewandowski's been sold apart from when he was sold to Borussia Dortmund. So I think he left Dortmund on a free as well.
And Scraps is right here as well. If you got Kane with Salah, you'd need so much pace on the left wing, which is why I don't think. I think if you listen to Slot, he wants pace up front. But me and Drift were talking yesterday, Cal, when we were doing the watch long, and we were talking strikers, apart from maybe Isaac, Kane, Lewandowski.
No, they paid for him, guys. They paid 45 million plus.
45 million.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, Bayern, sorry, Barca bought.
Yeah, but I had a feeling it was a fee. Yeah.
But 45, but
Look how much he's repaid them.
So if you look at the elite strikers in the world at the moment, Isaac, Kane, Lewandowski,
Haaland.
Who else? Haaland, and who else are we putting in there?
Those are the only elite ones.
Maybe Chao Alvarez, Julian Alvarez, maybe you could put
Alvarez can go in there, yeah.
Apart from that,
Alvarez ain't in the same category as them.
So let's put him on the bench
this season,
of that eliteness.
No.
Let's put him on the bench for that eliteness and have the other four in their own.
Yeah.
Liverpool aren't going to get any of them players, yeah? So every other striker is pretty much a gamble, ain't it?
Yeah.
Every other striker is pretty much a gamble. Gyökeres, 80 million euros, is it? Buyout clause. Got 56 goals, 56 games, but look how good Darwin was in Portugal. You know what I mean? Darwin was bigging it up in Portugal as well. So he didn't do it when he was at Brighton, Gyökeres, either, did he?
No.
I think the least obvious risk is Osimhen. I think he's probably the most guarantee for reputation and whatnot out of all of them. I think that would still cost 80 million euros, wouldn't it? So,
no, apparently Osimhen's 50 million
euros. 50 million euros.
Either 50 million euros or 50 million pounds. Apparently.
Oh, raw shit! Is he going down that much?
Could you run an Osimhen and a Liam Delap for like 90?
See, I'm all right with Osimhen and Delap. I'm all right with that.
Or even an Osimhen and Ekitike, maybe. Could
I'm all right with that as well.
Or,
I'm all right with that.
Or is it too much to go Ekitike and Delap? They are the same age, pretty much.
I was going to say that's the only problem. They're both young.
The thing with Ekitike, you can play him off the left.
But here's the thing: why is it that Chelsea can sell projects to these players? Why is it Man United can sell a project?
Yeah, but the projects they bought was shit.
No, I hear it, but they still managed to sign these players.
They signed them, but the problem is we're looking at Chelsea now going, they need 7 players after spending that much money.
No, I hear that, but surely we must. How are we sitting there saying we can't get Ekitike and Delap out of Ipswich and Frankfurt?
I think we could have. No, if we wanted to. If Liverpool wanted 2 forwards, I think Ekitike and Delap would be the 2 they get. Because they hit every data on there. They hit every data mark on there.
I'll be honest, I know it's a massive risk. I'd be all right if that was the summer.
Ekitike and Delap.
I would.
Gyökeres, Ekitike, Delap.
There's so much youth in there, though, man.
But we need that, though, Drift.
But that's what we need. If we're keeping the older boys, we're going to need some youth, ain't we?
We need legs around.
If you're trying to win the league, do you not need people that have done it, though?
Yeah, but
that's a whole bunch of players you've got no idea how to
what have Man City just bought? What have Man City just bought in the January?
Yeah, but that's why we get Camavinga.
They bought youth.
yeah.
Man
pull that one off?
Man City just went and bought 2. Man City just went in January and bought 2 very young centre backs.
Yeah, that's
why be their future.
That's why I'm not they're going to come back good.
But that's why
obviously
got himself
Mamouche has been good. Yeah. Mamouche has been a good signing, but they've gone through that youth. They've gone through the young youth side of it because they've got so many old players. They need legs around them. It's been proof this season. So Liverpool are probably going to need young youth around these older players for the legs.
Yeah, but
with Salah,
Well, wouldn't we prefer 25-year-old youth than 20-year-old youth because at least you got some experience at 25? Do you get what I mean?
You prefer? Would FSG prefer it?
FSG want them to pause. FSG want them as young as possible. We know. But that's why I said pause first. But
it's obvious to me the reason why Camavinga got himself sent off is because he's like, my head's in Liverpool.
Although Tchouaméni might be more realistic as the days go on. Because
he's a centre back now, I think.
No, I don't want him.
I think he's a centre back now. The way Tchouaméni plays.
You would say no to Tchouaméni.
I don't think he's a midfielder anymore. I think he's a centre back. I think.
Well, me and Matt will hang you over the wall like Matt did to Vanilla Rice, bro.
I know you. If I'm taking a Real Madrid midfielder, I need it to be Camavinga, not Tchouaméni.
Camavinga ain't going anywhere though. If it's
Nah, he's not.
Tchouaméni, I
Yeah.
promise you, Tchouaméni, Grav, McAllister, Jones, and Busquets. With oh my goodness,
Isn't Ekatike like 23?
Yeah.
And Delap's like 22.
Yeah.
Not too bad. So right,
I thought Ekatike was a bit younger than that. I thought he was 21.
I think it's like 23.
23 is all right, to be fair. That's actually a good age.
His goal tonight was excellent, by the way.
Yeah, it was brilliant finish.
That was a hell of a goal.
Yeah. So see, this is what I want. So you see what I want.
Hey, what did I say?
It's probably about Tchouaméni. I don't know.
Oh no, Tchouaméni's playing centre back for Real Madrid. That's not a lie, is it?
Oh yeah, that's what you said. You said you don't think he's a midfielder anymore. You think he's
that's what Madrid think of him. They don't think he plays centre back for Real Madrid. They don't
because
think
they've had an emergency of injuries.
I've just figured out Liverpool's perfect summer. Hato, they want to do this youth thing, yeah. Hato, Huyson, Kirkes, that's defense, perfectly sorted, yeah. Moving into midfield, Baleba, wing, Doué, up front, Ekatike.
Brother, Doué has only recently signed for PSG, and I'll be real, I don't really want that smoke with PSG, bro. Do you know they tore Barca apart, bro, just because they did for Thiago Silva. Like, do
you know what's mad though? If you look at some of these clubs, they are playing without strikers.
Yeah,
a lot of these clubs are playing without strikers now. You know, PSG don't play with strikers. They're just free skillful, quick technicians up front.
I think they get a striker in the summer though.
Yeah, Isaac.
I genuinely think they're going to go hard.
I think Isaac at PSG's like makes sense, man.
Well, scraps. I never said I don't want Doué. I said Doué probably doesn't want to leave PSG.
No, you ain't getting Doué after 1 year, man. He's balling out over there.
I'd love Doué at Liverpool.
The problem is though, why didn't Liverpool look at Doué before he went to PSG?
Yeah,
I'll tell you why. Because PSG paid 50 million for him.
And
where did he come from?
Let's be real. We had Gakpo, Diaz,
Rennes,
and we had Gakpo and Diaz.
And this is the thing, see, like Doué from Rennes, that's why I always say you just got to look at the player, not the club, man. If they're good, they're good. Just go and get them.
We were never signing left winger in the summer, guys. We had Gakpo and Diaz.
We got too many left wingers. That's why we didn't get Krav, because where we go to put them all?
I'm not gonna lie, I just sold everyone apart from Salah in that front line would have been on a chopping block.
I don't know if they can't keep Salah as right. This is the thing as well. Do you keep Salah right wing for the next 2 years?
Yeah,
because
I think he's got to be moved centrally at some point. You know, I'm not going to
talk about moving him inside.
Not yet. Pause. Not yet. Yeah.
Oh my days! Do you want to know how much his buyout clause is?
188 million.
Who Doué?
Yeah, Doué.
Yeah, go
188 million.
300 million euros.
Cool.
That can be negotiated.
Yeah.
257 million pound his buyout clause.
So basically, our next 6 transfer windows budgets combined.
Yeah. Just on Doué.
I don't even know if we've even spent 300 million pound.
No, man. That's a lot of money on one player, isn't it? That's a lot of money on one player. Yeah, start a GoFundMe.
I also think Howson probably ends up at Real Madrid as well because they
Real Madrid won him badly. Yeah.
Again, like this is what I say about club and player. You know, Madrid probably that he comes from Bournemouth, or are they just looking at the player?
As soon as he picked Spain, Real Madrid wanted him.
Yeah.
And he never keeps talking. Have you seen the conversations around Madrid's the club? That's where I want to go and play my football one day. I don't want to go and get a player that just using us for a stepping stone, probably to go to Real Madrid.
You know what, Jay? I'm actually all right with it now because I just feel if you can get 4 years out of a player and they're top quality.
Yeah, I mean, 4 years is long enough now in football, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is
4 years. Do you know why I do it? Because in 4 years, you can win yourself a league in the Champions League and it pays for itself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think gone are the days where you get one club players and your likes of Salah and Virgil. I think there's not going to be many more players like
Trent's proving that. If a Scouser won't even stay at Liverpool, we're done with the one club thing.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is the thing with like numbers and all that and stats on players. You know, Sometimes they're at a club. There's potential there of a player, but their numbers might not be great at that club because of the way that club performs. And then you bring him to a bigger club that plays more front-footed football, and then you see the benefit of that player, don't you?
Jamie.
Yeah, you get the benefit of that player, don't you? So
yeah.
The summer's definitely going to be interesting. But before we leave here, guys, predictions on West Ham. Get that title race back. Get that title closer. One more game.
3-1 Liverpool.
2-1 Liverpool.
I am going a squeaky 2-1.
Yeah,
Going squeaky 2-1. I think Mo Salah will score for the first time in a while.
Yeah,
we need Mo to get back into the GA as well, just to get his confidence back up again.
Yeah, get the win. Keep it 11-point gap with one game less.
Step up. That's what we really need. We need the other forwards to step up.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, and I'm sick of this guy already.
Yes, Gunners. North London is home now.
Oh, shut up, you cunt!
I'm
two phenomenal free kicks. The second one,
phenomenal free kicks, man.
No, but this is why Arsenal fans will always make us hate them, because he scored 2 bangers, and don't get me wrong, they were bangers. Remember, he's never done this before, by the way. This ain't a regular thing, so it could be the sun shining on the dog's ass. But as soon as the game finished, I'm hearing Stevie G comparisons.
Who did that?
No,
Arsenal fans, bro.
No, I need names, Drifty. Who did that?
All right, I'll send you the list.
Get me names. If they're in the content space, it's done. It's done.
A couple of them are.
Big up Honesty. Been a member for 24 months as well. Big up Honesty, man. He said, would you guys take Gertzy or Boniface? Would you guys take any of them too?
No.
I wouldn't mind Boniface as a second option off the bench. I do think there's something about him.
Chatting crap about Gerrard, yeah? All right, cool.
Boniface, man. That's an interesting one.
I feel so sorry for that guy. He thought he was going for the bag, and he got told, "No, take your coat off, mate." Oh my days! I feel sorry for him.
We got food at home, bro.
Yeah.
Bro. He thought his coat off. Who's that player? That QPR player that went to the training ground before he got bought?
Oh, Odinwingie.
I did.
Didn't
Saido Berahino do the same thing as well?
Just turned up at the training ground. Do you remember? Is it Hernan Crespo? Not who is it? No, I can't remember the player's name yet. But he went to Coventry. Yeah, he agreed to do a deal with Coventry, right? And he even had a tour around the stadium. Sky were following him around, yeah. And then at the last second, he changed his mind and went to Real Madrid.
Who was that?
I can't remember the guy's name. He always went. It's not Hernan Crespo. I know it's not that, but it sounds like that. I think he literally went to Coventry, got shown around the ground by Gordon Strachan. Sky cameras are there and everything, and then at the last minute,
to go from Coventry to Real Madrid is insane.
Yeah, because he was a baller. He was a baller, but I just can't remember his name. He was a quality footballer.
That's fine.
How do you remember who I'm on about?
No, I'm trying to remember.
I can't remember his name there.
No, and for Faubert went from West Ham to Real Madrid.
Yeah, he went from
How did he pull that one off?
No idea. He's got the same agent as what's his name? What's the guy who went to fucking PSG, Bayern Munich? Choupo-Moting. Bro, how did he manage to get that career?
That agent 100% had nudes on manager.
100%.
Oh, it did. What year was it? It was a while. It was a long time ago. Called Gordon Strachan was Coventry manager. I can't remember his name. He was an absolute baller. Got looked around Coventry. Cameras followed him round. In the last minute, it's a bit like Thingy was almost signed for Spurs, then went to Chelsea. Same sort of situation. Was it Willian? He actually went to White Hart Lane, got shown round, went to the training ground, and then Chelsea wanted him, and he went to Chelsea straight away.
If you've been sending gnats to my house, bro.
You got a gnat.
They're everywhere, aren't they? They're everywhere. But I can't remember his name. I'll probably remember it tomorrow. one of the mad transfers, man.
I'm not going to tell you lot who said it in the YouTube.
John, that's the one. I think Trudon's got it. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
yes.
I was thinking of something else, and I don't remember.
Robert Jarney. There you go. Big up, you guys. There you go. Look at the chat coming in.
I love this one. Now, I'm not going to say the people who said
go.
it in the YouTube space because that's just going to cause beef. But two famous people who said it was Rio Ferdinand and Michael Owen.
Surprise, surprise.
Do you hear Rio Ferdinand said that Steven Gerrard was better than Kevin De Bruyne?
Finally gave Liverpool a little bit of praise.
Rio Ferdinand, he actually put, I think, is it Roy Keane, Paul Scholes, and Steven Gerrard as the three best centre mids ever in the Premier League. And everyone couldn't believe he said Stevie, but to be fair, Rio knew what Stevie was like, played for him for England. So he said there was
what Stevie was about.
He said there was nothing Kevin De Bruyne could do that Stevie couldn't.
Facts. Tell a lie. I would say I think Kevin De Bruyne had a better shot of his weaker foot.
Yeah,
that's the only thing. But if I'd go.
I don't even know, bro. I saw Gerrard chip Everton's goalkeeper with his left foot from outside the box.
No, I hear it, but I've also seen De Bruyne shift it onto his left and slap it top bins, like slap it top bins.
Nah, but I'm sure Gerrard could do that. I'm sure he could.
I know pretty much all of Gerrard's goals. I can't remember one where he just got the ball, stopped it, shifted it to his left foot, and slapped it top bins. Like, remember what Mane did against Man City when we beat them 17-18?
Yeah.
I can't.
I don't know. I think he could have if he wanted to.
Big out zone 14. He says, "Yeah, Robert Yarney on PES 1 was rapid." I've been playing PES 6 all this week. I found it back out. I've been playing PES 6 all week.
I think that might be the best one.
Greatest football game of all time. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah. I think PES 6 might be the best one. Yeah.
Greatest football game of all time, man. Still holds up now.
Marseille was the right foot. He got passed over from Dirk Kuyt from the right-hand side and he curled it back over with his right foot.
Oh, do you remember that goal against Marseille from about 30 yards out?
Yeah, we had no kit sponsor that day.
Yeah. You weren't allowed alcohol in France, were you? Yeah, I remember that goal, man. We were crap in that game apart from Stevie as well. Yeah, shock. But guys, look, we're going to leave it there. Big up everyone with the supers. Big up Eddie and We Chat Football with the new memberships as well. Much love to you guys. Much love to Matt's Hairline, Darwin, John, Jack, Don, Matt's Hairline again, Honesty and Zone with all the supers and memberships as well. Appreciate the love, guys. Thank you very much. Don't forget, go and subscribe to the Coppish Boys if you've not already. What are we doing here? Go and sign up to them. Make sure you sign up to Drifty's Big Up channel as well. Make sure you sign up to Callum's Combat channel as well as Sanders Show, where we will be live in the early hours Sunday morning.
Yeah.
To keep Cal awake for 3 hours.
Madness. Sunday's gonna be madness.
If Pimlet wins,
as well.
What would you lot say if Pimlet wins and says, "Trent, you lizard," live in the match reaction? What would you lot say?
I'd just be like, "You're silly." Like, Trent probably doesn't give a monkeys about you. Like,
I want Pimlet to win, though. I do want Pimlet to win. Big up, Paddy.
I like Chandler, so I don't mind either way, to be honest.
I think Pimlet gets the win, though.
I want Pimlet to get.
I don't think he can take one of those punches, though.
I don't think he gets caught clean. I think he makes it look pretty easy against Chandler, if I'm going to be honest.
You think?
Yeah.
But look, that's where you can catch Cal and me and Luke in the early hours Sunday morning, keeping Cal awake for 3 hours. So make sure you join us. It's the funniest thing ever, man. I've always wanted, I wish I could just throw something through the screen.
No, you know, it'd be even more funny. Imagine if Stevie came in, when it was on, and he looked, and then you were like, Stevie, guess what? And then Stevie, and he just clowned on.
You probably would.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. That'd be cool. So make sure you join us then. Hopefully Liverpool get their win on Sunday as well. Keep that 11-point gap with a game less to go as well. So marching on towards that.
We actually have to beat West Ham's. We have to, because if we
Yeah.
don't, it might start to create too much negativity around this whole situation.
Just get the look. Our 3 games we should win. I ain't lying. We got West Ham.
Yeah, the next 3. Yeah,
we got West Ham, Leicester, and Tottenham at home.
Yeah, if we can't win those 3, then what we do?
If we win all that, I think if we win them 3s, it's done. It's done.
I mean, we know what's like versus Tottenham, though. So
yeah. They'll find 2 onside goals that they call it offside for no reason. So big up, guys. Thank you very much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll see you again soon. Big up, everyone. Bye bye.
Peace.